A lot can happen in 24 hours. I must have asked 1,000 times. Is he locked in? Is he with us? Is he a part of us? Are you sure? Is it sewn up? What I heard was, don't worry, kid. I got it covered. Don't sweat it. You worry too much. It's sewn up. Let me make the decisions. Well, you dropped the ball. But don't worry.
Wrestle Cave
Picked it up. And now the ball is in my court. I'll take care of the worries. I'll take care of the problems. And I'll make the decisions. Whoa. This is the genesis of
Wrestle Cave, live from the 215. I am Ace Porter. To my right is Fat Rod.
Fat Rod in the building. I got my dog with me, Black Hebrew. How you feeling?
I'm back, baby.
Hey, man, I'm not really feeling these odds. And without further ado, I mean...
Let's get right to it, I guess, man. Who you got for me today?
You got Black, I got Joe with the facts. Joe, what's good?
What's going on, dudes?
What's good?
We out here ready to discuss.
Yeah, it's a surprise, surprise, surprise,
Nonsense.
surprise, surprise, motherfuckers.
Nonsense, Joe.
We here. All right, listen. Let's get this prediction out of the way because we know what people came to fucking hear. Who was the most impactful leader of the Bullet Club? Was it AJ's Bullet Club or was it the fucking Elite? We're going to get into it, but first, how y'all feeling about Backlash?
Backlash is coming. It starts tonight. No title changes tonight. No title changes.
I agree with that. AJ Styles, keep the belt.
Facts.
As he holds AJ Styles' belt right
Always,
at the table.
always.
I got who are the tag titles up on SmackDown? Is the Usos got another shot?
I got Charlotte winning tonight, though.
Ooh. Let me pull a card up.
I got the card right here.
I got Nia Jax retaining her belt.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
What's next match?
Only question is Miz and Seth Rollins, man.
It ain't no question.
It is a question.
It's not a question.
Seth keeps it.
Listen, let's keep it
Thank
real,
you, Joe.
man.
Main
The
event-
belt
main
don't
event is
look
the
right
IC
without the
title right
Miz. The belt doesn't look
Miz
right
belt.
without
What?
the
The
Miz.
belt doesn't look right.
belt
Grand
doesn't
Slam
look right
Rollins, it
without
sounds
the
great to
Miz.
me. Sounds great to me.
I got something better than Grand Slam Rollins. I got Miz getting the belt back and then Jericho doing a run-in later. Talking
No,
about, I want the record.
Jericho's is in New Japan right as we speak.
Listen, Jericho does what he wants. Shout out to Jericho.
But he's still in the WWE.
He just was in the Royal Rumble
when
a
he
couple
come
days
back,
ago.
him and Kevin Owens gonna go at it. You seen it at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
It's time to put the
that was
belt
when the
back
great
on.
KO told him to go back to Japan and he listened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he listened.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All the Wrestle Kids listeners worldwide, I think we could just come to an agreement that we all want the WWE title to be back on Raw. Not the fact that we want it to be great again, because I feel like the belt is great right now. But let's get the belt back to Kevin Owens. I think we need to start the movement as of right now.
Which
needs
belt?
to come back. The
Universal.
Universal title.
How? He don't beat Brock without the money in the bank.
I tell you, you know what Kevin Owens
June
have to
is
do.
next month, brother.
You know what Kevin Owens have to do to beat Brock Lesnar?
Get the money in the bank.
He needs
Beat
to
him?
He needs to fight Owens fight.
With
Yes.
Sami Zayn to come through.
Money in the bank.
I would like that.
But I'm cool with
Money in
that.
the
I'm
bank.
cool with that. He doesn't need it till after somebody wins Money in the Bank. All right.
So as far as tonight, Braun, Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They beat them on Raw. Do you think Sami and them gonna get a win or no?
Bobby Lashley came back. You need to give him a big win.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's not looking good for my boy KO.
yeah. So you think Sami taking the pin?
Sammy's eating that pin real quick.
Yeah, because Kevin ate the first one.
Yeah,
So I guess we agree on that.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
I
agree
mean,
with
hopefully
that.
they
don't
do
agree?
something with
I
that
don't agree
match.
with that one.
I like them
something's going to happen between this. KO cannot take a loss. Sami Zayn can take a loss, but KO can't take a
Facts.
major loss right
Why can't he?
Hopefully this
now.
is
We're
a
starting a new season, and we need to push Kevin Owens.
yeah. I need this match to
Does
do something
Kevin
with
Owens
the storyline.
does it matter if he takes the pin? I'm just saying, being as though that he
yeah,
still
damn,
has a show. He still has a show on Raw. He's still gonna find a way to
It
get.
damn sure matters.
Look.
Sami Zayn must take the pin at all times.
Sami Zayn can turn on KO.
But Sami Zayn is the one that hasn't been champion, hasn't been Intercontinental champion like Kevin
That's his
Owens.
fault.
Long overdue.
Yeah, so I feel like if Kevin
I'm
take the
not a fan
pin,
of
Kevin about to have a
Sami Zayn.
grand
Sorry to hear
slam.
that.
Kevin about to have a
I'm
grand
sorry,
slam
you
within
a
like
fan.
2 years. Kevin about to have a grand slam, and he only been up here for like the last 2-3 years.
Kevin
So-
Owens is the
My
GOAT.
dog,
Just
man.
for the fact, Kevin Owens had the most dominant debut I've ever seen for a single
We ain't
superstar
arguing that.
in a
We
year.
argued it.
We ain't arguing
Just
that.
because.
We
Look
ain't
at what
arguing
he
that.
did. He debuted in December. Great month. I was born. But
Remind him that KO's better than Pete. You know, whatever he want to talk about.
listen,
I think KO is the greatest.
Pete's on the
NXT
Wrestle
champion
King
of all time.
Mount Rushmore
in
down
less
there.
than a year, my man won Intercontinental, NXT. I'm not going to give it an order. Y'all know, U.S. title.
He beat John Cena.
He
the
beat
first
John Cena
night.
clean. That's the title in its own.
Point is, if he
With
take the
the
pin,
NXT
he's not
title.
hurt. If he take the pin, he's not hurt.
Correct. That's true.
He did the
doesn't-
job for Goldberg, all right? That is why
Yes, he is
he
hurt.
deserves the belt back.
I
End of
agree.
story.
I
Still didn't
agree.
get his rematch.
I
Facts.
agree.
He
should
Nobody
stay
gets a
on
rematch. No one gets a rematch. Who gets a rematch for the Universal title? Finn didn't get it.
Miz gets rematches, all right?
Huh?
Because he don't forget about that shit. He reminds
Finn
himself
didn't get a rematch.
every day.
Nobody gets a rematch.
What Finn need a rematch for?
Thank you.
Never lost it technically.
He never lost it.
He lost it.
He lost it when he couldn't continue.
No.
Seth Rollins beat his ass.
Giving up about
Beat
is different.
his
Keep
ass.
beating his ass. He gonna keep beating his
Listen,
ass until he becomes the demon and take
he
the IC
slayed
title.
the demon.
The demon
He
gonna get his
slayed
ass
the
whooped.
King Slayer. I mean, he slayed the King. I
Who
can't
beat
take
the
up
demon?
Seth Rollins.
The
Put him
demon
out
is
of business.
undefeated.
All right.
The demon is undefeated.
All right. All right. He couldn't continue. He couldn't
The
continue.
demon can't beat Brock Lesnar.
Nah, man, y'all trying to turn this into Incredible Hulk Infinity War.
I'm just saying.
I'm just
It's
saying.
not.
I'm like,
He beat the
reality.
demon out of a
It's reality.
motherfucker. What can I
I
say?
ain't
Like,
seen the
goddamn.
demon.
He gonna keep beating him until he becomes the demon to take the IC title at SummerSlam because that's the only time we see
All
the
that for
demon.
the IC title. You see what he did? He even beat the heavyweight title out the motherfucker. All right.
Brock should have ran with it.
But we can agree that they're gonna lose. Kevin Owens and them are gonna lose tonight. Can we agree on that?
I can't agree on that one. I think
Somehow, some way.
something's going to happen.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
they're
You know
gonna
what?
get fucking
You know what?
pinned.
Either they're going to
They
cheat.
got pinned already.
They're gonna pin again.
There's something going to happen between Bobby and
Braun
Braun
is, the guy,
Strowman.
Braun is their guy.
Question: is this the setup for KO and Bobby Lashley? Maybe.
I hope not.
No.
I don't want him
No.
to be fed this early.
No.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
Let's not keep
definitely
feeding
fed.
Kevin
I mean,
Owens.
they're working all together. You know, they don't think that at least 3 storylines come out of this somewhere, some way, somehow.
This is
I don't
probably the
know.
only match that actually has potential to go past Backlash.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Backlash is like a.
Backlash is a closing the chapter
So it's
pay-per-view
the kind of
right now.
important match of the card that's
Somebody
not
with
important.
their ass with the
I
knife.
think it's a one-off again. Me personally, I
Yeah.
don't see nothing coming out of this.
Braun with a tag team partner. Nah, ain't
Then-
working.
I mean, it's nice for what it is now.
And then I don't see Braun losing to Bobby, and I don't see Bobby losing to Braun. Braun is the guy right now.
But that's probably the match right there.
Sammy and Braun already did their thing.
Braun and Bobby is probably a match for real.
Do y'all remember
I don't-
Sammy winning? Because
Braun's not going to lose, and Bobby can't afford to lose his first feud, so it's not going to happen.
That's a big time match
They
though.
can fight.
Yeah.
3
They can
months.
fight.
Someone got to lose. Who's the loser?
Both. It's going to build
We'll
both.
cross
of them.
that bridge later.
How you feel, John?
the way Vince sees Kevin Owens and
Braun
Sami
can always
Zayn,
turn to him.
the way Vince sees Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, I can see it where, unfortunately, I can see Braun and Bobby going back and forth on destroying them and seeing who's going to take the pinfall. That's how bad I can envision it happening for KO and Sammy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Daniel Bryan, Big Cass.
Is that a question?
Yes, it
It
is a
is.
question.
I'm going with
Big
Big
Cass. Damn.
I go.
I'm going with Big Cass tonight,
Big
baby.
Cass.
I'm gonna go with Big Cass too. Fuck.
Can we agree that Backlash is a throwaway pay-per-view?
That's
And
what
this
I'm
is why
saying,
Big
like,
Cass is
It's
going
a
away?
chapter closing pay-per-view.
Who's checking for Backlash on the network?
Again, it's just a chapter close,
just
so that
watched
way
the
everybody
top 10
closes their
highlights,
Raw
man.
and SmackDown commitments.
It's not Royal
I think no
Rumble.
disqualification. I think
It's
he's
not
gonna beat him the fuck
SummerSlam.
up. Me personally.
It's not Survivor Series. It's not Mania. Daniel Bryan can do this job. He
No.
can do this for Big Cass.
He could just get injured. He don't gotta get pinned or nothing
They're
like that.
fighting over who had the hardest comeback. Like, this is what they really fighting over. Daniel Bryan's gonna be all right.
I'm gonna say Dan Bryan just because I'm never gonna. You'll never see me mention Big Cass winning anything.
I feel you.
That's like Baron Corbin still on SmackDown.
As long as Enzo don't come in tonight,
Yeah.
we all win.
Enzo, he had to get away
I
from
think
Enzo.
no DQ, disqualification, something like that. They make him more of a badass heel. His promos has been good, and then that's how you get him heat because everybody loved Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan wins and
He's
he
just
whooped
like
Daniel Bryan's
Diesel,
ass at
man.
the
That's
end.
what Vince see in him.
That too. That too. Either way.
Wins, beats Daniel Bryan's ass at the end.
mean,
Still
but
helps.
Big Cass is the guy that we're not going to want to win Money in the Bank watch, and he's going to be the one that get it. That's kind of where his situation is.
They can't have two losers holding money in the back. Back to you know.
Gender
Baron
became
Corbin can't
champion.
happen twice.
Everybody can become champion.
Oh, I mean, a foreign heel, I get it. Transitional.
Yeah.
I always got gender as transitional.
That was horrible.
Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns. This is interesting.
Joe.
I gotta go with man.
I'm going to say Samoa's going
I'm
to win
gonna be
tonight.
no, that's an honest one. I guess I can say that. Honestly, I just think that maybe bold prediction: Samoa Joe wins, and
I'm going
this
to
may
say
get the Roman turn that everybody wants.
I'm going to say Samoa Joe's going to win because
So you can go.
Vince isn't done
AJ
tearing
Styles, man.
Roman Reigns apart. Like, he's serious about tearing Roman Reigns down and making us have sympathy for him. Roman Reigns may get choked out tonight.
I'm gonna go with Joe.
I would enjoy that.
It makes sense. Joe needs to choke out somebody to make that a thing again.
'Cause
Like,
the next
motherfuckers can
rivalry-
get choked out.
The next one is AJ Styles and Samoa Joe.
Facts.
We need that.
And it don't even matter if he loses because they're on separate brands now. So it's just like he's gonna go back to whatever he's doing because he's still in a storyline that he
Roman
won
Reigns is
when he
coming
really
to work
did
to the
win.
job tonight.
When he really did win,
Yeah.
fucking he beat Brock Lesnar. in
Brock
that match.
Lesnar won.
No, he did.
He touched the canvas first.
He did.
Man,
The
he
first
touched him.
feet for
the metal camera.
He
I
touched
saw his
him.
finger went in between the cage holes.
Yeah,
I got you.
fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
His back.
This guy.
Some skin on his back.
This dude right here. Charlotte and
Brock Lesnar hater right here, man. I can hear it, man.
no.
He put his time, man.
I'm not mad at him, but what you gonna be
Man,
mad
you
about?
can't be mad at Brock, man. He just like The Rock. The Rock is worse than Brock
Anybody in the
Lesnar.
world will take advantage of a situation. I mean, I'm not a fan
Take
of
advantage?
it, but
What's revenge? You talking about?
you take advantage of the situation that's given to you. You could, if you get signed a contract, say you can do what you want. Why not do what you want?
What about all the tick he
You
put in?
made them terms. That's
What
not.
tick he put in? He quit after like what, 2-3 years? Stop a tick.
How about this?
put
This
the list
scenario.
down?
How about Stone Cold Steve Austin takes an F5 and Brock Lesnar is bigger than what he really is? That didn't happen. What about that? What about Brock Lesnar still having to find his way
But
after that?
why did the Stone Cold Stunner happen? Because he was on his way where?
Who?
Brock. When
No.
he ate the Stone Cold Stunner. at
I'm talking about
WrestleMania?
after Brock won King of the Ring.
Oh, you're talking about that. Well, Stone Cold was a little upset.
No, see? But at the time, people want Brock to do this job and that job and drop the belt to this person. He didn't get Stone Cold. What about that? When Stone Cold in 2002 was Stone Cold Steve
Stone
Austin.
Cold should got the privilege that Brock Lesnar had. He put more time in. Is that what you're saying, right?
Man, Stone Cold had a belt at 6 years at that point. Like,
But he can still do what
he
he
could have
wants.
looked out
That's
for
what-
Brock Lesnar. He did.
And that's what
Brock
Brock
Lesnar
Lesnar's
had to
doing
get
now.
it from the muscle. So now everybody mad that Brock Lesnar do it his way. I'm not mad Brock Lesnar in business for himself. That's how it gotta be.
He always been in business for himself though.
That's not true.
And the only thing Brock Lesnar gonna do is bury your talent.
He lost to Eddie Guerrero.
no point.
He looked out.
Yes, he
looked
did. He put a great man over.
He put a
At the
cruiserweight
perfect
champion
time.
over
He was coming
for
up.
his first title.
That was his
That's
first-
gonna always be
Bro,
remembered.
that wasn't his
That's in
decision.
history.
That was his first
Eddie Guerrero
reign.
won his first world champion against
You think
Brock
that's-
Lesnar.
Do you think that was his decision? That was the office decision at the time.
Brock Lesnar do what he wants, and he did it for
was
Eddie
his first
Guerrero.
title reign.
All right, and he did it for Eddie
That
Guerrero.
was his first title.
So
reign.
don't say he don't look out.
He lost
He
to
did it for
Goldberg.
Latino Heat and the
Don't give him
culture.
too
All
much
right.
credit.
What's the number one rule of the world now? What have you done for me lately?
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
you're saying he did the world a favor back then, if that's what you're saying and claiming.
He lost to Goldberg also.
That's
Clean.
his man. That's his
Clean.
man.
Hey, so it was nice talking to you. I'll see you later, buddy.
That was his man.
He lost.
He did it though.
You brought up Goldberg. All right,
Yes.
next match, please. Goldberg. Stop.
I'm just wrong.
Did that tarnish the belt? After
What?
he beat the streak? When losing to Goldberg that fast?
What streak?
It put Goldberg over.
He
I think
beat
that's
Taker's streak and then
Oh.
lost in 90 seconds to Goldberg. A man is in
That
his
don't
50s.
mean nothing though.
But
It don't mean
the
nothing.
Goldberg.
The only reason that happened
know
so
who
quick
Goldberg
was
is?
Yeah.
it was a shock factor. I was legitimately shocked. Everyone was shocked.
It
That was
was
the only
Goldberg,
way
yeah.
you can have that
Word.
that match. I don't know, just be like, oh my
But
god, I can't believe I witnessed it. That was the only thing that could
But
happen to make
he
you say it.
did it. That's what people don't understand. He did it.
Hey,
They mad he
Goldberg
didn't
did
do
it the
it
same
for
way.
Finn or Seth or He did it for Goldberg. So the rest of these motherfuckers need to shut up.
Why? Goldberg is a special attraction too.
All right.
And Goldberg did it back in WrestleMania.
That's older than him and more part-time than him. All right, so he don't need to hear none of that shit.
That shit should have went to somebody coming. You could have elevated another star. This dude was already a fucking legend.
If Brock Lesnar on the card, the house is packed and the show is lit.
It all
every
comes down to one
single
thing.
time.
It was because of WWE video game. He was a downloadable character.
I agree.
And we got that. So
I agree.
I'm going to get over it. It was just because, I mean.
But he took the loss for the locker room.
No, he didn't. It's not a loss. Goldberg couldn't last longer than that.
Yeah, facts.
Brock Lesnar.
Let's go Goldberg.
Brock Lesnar lost to Bill Goldberg. That's all we know. And he
Kevin
lost to
Owens
him in
did
90
too.
seconds.
You're welcome.
He lost to him in 90 seconds.
Kevin Owens did too.
Another person that I don't agree that it happened to.
But hold. If I'm Kevin Owens, I don't mind losing to Goldberg.
Facts.
That's Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg.
You know who Goldberg is?
Everything
it was the way
applies
they
to
did it.
Hall
everybody.
of Famer. First ballot Hall of Famer.
Give me like 3-5 minutes, something like 90 seconds. I'm cool on that.
Goldberg outsold
And he hated
that
it.
man.
He hated it. He hated that shit too. Just to let you know, he didn't want it to go that way.
At the same time, it's like, yeah, you a legend,
But it's like, yeah, he hated
so
that
Ric
shit.
Flair's a legend. If he comes back and beats somebody in 90 sequence,
That ain't never happened
That's
in
not
nobody's
Ric Flair.
life, though.
Goldberg
In
came
nobody's
in.
life. You never seen a Ric Flair
It's
match
true.
that was 90
but
seconds.
what I'm telling you is, would it really be that appreciated? We can't like just give it because it's
Ric
Goldberg.
Flair whole
I
thing
can
was
give it
people
that.
couldn't go 1 hour. That was 60-minute man.
fair, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why that was why Flair always got the belt. That was his thing. He used to take his matches 60 minutes.
But the point is,
drag
you
him
still-
out to
but
the
you
deep
said,
rounds.
you bringing up ages and legends.
Everything don't apply for everybody. Like you brought up KO. KO and Goldberg is 2 different scenarios than Goldberg and Brock. Yes.
Goldberg and I feel like Goldberg. I'm not Goldberg. KO and Brock should have been that Mania match. That's been a Mania match. I always
agree.
wanted since KO came.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And he could have lost, but not in 90 seconds.
And it would have been a fight.
Can I ask you
That's
this
what
question?
Kevin Owens does.
Can I ask you this question? Because the next match involves Charlotte. Now, my thing was this. Now, I understand the iconic duo and all that stuff, and I think we talked about it before. But I was feeling like if this... Okay, so they felt like Asuka was basically... The streak was like bigger than Asuka, basically, so to speak, right? So if the end game was to have Carmella as champion leaving, could she could have came out like on some Seth Rollins type time at Mania, and Asuka could have been outside or winded, and she could have still pinned Charlotte because all she did was kick her with that corny.
Let's
ass
hear it,
kick.
Joe. Let's hear it, Joe.
here's
And
my
the streak
opinion
could
on
have
that.
Let's hear it, Joe.
continued,
Get
and
the
then
shovel,
she would have
Black.
been the
You got the
champion.
shovel?
I love Charlotte. I love Asuka.
But why the streak had to go?
If the streak was going to Charlotte, which I don't mind, I get it, whatever, it should not have went at a tap out. I felt like it should have went at a pass out or a pinfall.
How do you pass out from a leg lock if her finisher is
You're
the
not saying,
figure?
I'm not telling you.
eight?
I didn't say pass out from the figure 4. I'm saying you can. What if she brought out something different, something to make her pass out?
Why
The same way
change the
some
game
people
plan?
passed out off of Rusev's finisher.
That's
And
his
all they're doing is
finisher.
lifting their chin.
That's his finisher.
He's lifting. That's not a choke.
That's his
He's
finisher.
breaking their back basically.
We talking about Charlotte, the
But again,
greatest women's
but
wrestler.
she shoulda- if
Why
she
she
was
got to
able
win
to-
a match other than her finisher at WrestleMania?
Because of who
Because
Asuka
she's
is.
great.
Who is
because of
she?
Asuka is.
What do you mean? Who is she?
Who is she
Oh,
on the
come on, man, I
WWE
can't do that.
amongst the WWE women's roster? Who is she?
Who is she?
The
right
Because
woman-
we don't-
the
when
woman
people
who
talk
beat-
women's
the woman
wrestling-
who beat Goldberg Street.
Excuse me.
The woman who beat Goldberg Street, technically.
Yeah.
You compare that?
Oh, absolutely.
Who you are, Trick? Oh,
And she
my
beat
goodness.
everybody on Raw. That's why we knew she was going to SmackDown.
So you compare the WCW belt and the NXT women's belt
How long
as?
held that belt? Come on.
Excuse me.
I said Goldberg with the WCW belt. What does that belt got to do with it? I'm saying the streak. We're talking streaks. Doesn't matter the belt.
Goldberg Street was bigger.
So
than
her streak was bigger than Goldberg's
It
streak.
was the longest streak for any
All I said
female,
was
for any
that
woman.
she won. She beat Goldberg Street. Where did you get out saying the bigger streak?
So,
Goldberg Street
all
is
right,
monumental.
so
Yes.
let me rephrase the question because I don't want to think it in my mind. Her streak on NXT carrying over to the main roster.
NXT is a brand.
Her streak
He don't
on
watch
NXT.
He thinks nothing matters in NXT.
No,
It's different.
I'm not speaking for him. I'm going to talk to this man right here. The people on, and this is just keeping the kayfabe. The people on the roster on SmackDown and Raw. You don't think they look at NXT as the level underneath?
I think
I
they
don't
look
think
at
so.
it as a motivation as far as
Yeah, I
like.
don't think so. They
It's a
sound out
lot
the
of
same
hype
building.
in NXT.
It's not. It's
they
the
don't.
level.
No, they
It's the
don't.
you get promoted to the main roster.
No, they don't.
But
Hold on.
you get promoted, but what I'm saying is like
Main
it's a level of
roster.
hype.
That don't mean nothing to nobody.
But again,
means
it's
something.
a brand.
They sell out the
It's a
same
brand.
building.
No, they
They sell
don't.
out the same
They
They did
arena.
not sell out 70,000
Facts.
NXT.
I'm not
Facts.
talking about that. I'm talking about.
We talk about that now.
I'm talking about summer. I'm talking about a pay-per-view, a WWE pay-per-view. It's at the Barclay.
That's
Fucking
small.
NXT.
That's
It's at the
small.
Barclay.
That's
That's
70,000
sold out.
100,000. You think NXT can get 100,000 people at one arena?
They're a fucking champion.
Bro, they didn't sell out. They didn't sell out the Wells Fargo arena, bro.
No, they didn't.
Bro,
I
sat in 4 different seats, bro.
You know why? This was the problem with the Royal Rumble in Philly. No knock on Philly, but they messed up. You shouldn't have 4 wrestling shows back to back like that because people are going to spread their money out the way it is, especially in the city that they're going to.
That's
it's a big wrestling city. It's not an excuse.
it's fact.
Them chickens was cheap enough.
I'm
I'm talking about Royal Rumble
and SmackDown.
That's you. But I'm saying I did
I
Takeover,
I
I did
NXT.
Raw, and I did SmackDown. But what I'm saying is, you see how one of them are going to be left out the loop. For me, left out the loop was Royal Rumble because, all right, well, I can get to the other shows, which is cool. But what I'm saying is, that's
They
too
drawed
much
on
to
the
put
Royal
on
Rumble
one
prices.
weekend.
FYI, WE.
It was too much invested in something that wasn't WrestleMania. You didn't give us access. You didn't give us something worth looking forward to. It was just too basic. You know what I mean? It wasn't the first time. No, but that's a big thing.
It was a women's Royal Rumble and it was a men's Royal Rumble.
But
That's why I cost so much.
That's the point. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't have Raw and SmackDown following. That's a WrestleMania type
Why
thing.
doesn't it?
Because
You mean so they shouldn't have, you saying they
it wasn't
shouldn't
hyped up like WrestleMania. If you've been to a WrestleMania before, you have access. You have all these events that you're going to be doing around wrestling. None of that was here on Royal Rumble. It was 4 shows that you got to choose from. You didn't actually need to be on those shows.
When they put a show down at the Wells Fargo Arena, you don't think they count in Philly, Jersey, Delaware?
Absolutely.
All right.
Again, there's no access.
So
there's none of this. There's none of
it
the
was
events.
it still was a lot going on in the city though.
For Royal Rumble?
For wrestling, period.
Yes, because we had the Super Bowl that week too.
It was a lot going on. It was a lot. It was a lot going on.
So
But what I'm saying is,
representing the Eagles or the Royal
bro, I
Rumble?
paid $40 for a ticket.
all in one.
I paid $40 for an NXT ticket.
The whole city was
More
hyped.
people would care about the Eagles than WWE, bro.
Royal
Especially
Rumble.
right here, right now.
I paid $40 for a ticket, bro. It wasn't like the tickets were mad expensive. I mean, it's just people didn't want to go to NXT because a lot of people don't watch NXT because
It wasn't promoted right. It happened because
it was
of the
promoted
time.
perfect. I was there, bro.
I knew
That
NXT
shit was
was
awesome.
there,
That shit was.
I just wasn't going. He asked me.
I would listen. Yeah, it's just a lot of
Do you
people.
watch NXT?
No,
So
don't.
what's the point? Why would you go? I don't expect you to go if you don't watch it.
Right, but what I'm
Right,
saying
yeah.
is the diehards from Philly, Jersey, Delaware, and even New York. The fact that it's Royal Rumble weekend and
They
it's a
always
big
sell out in New York.
and it's a big NXT
Always
pay per
sell out in New
view,
York.
bro. They didn't sell out
what's a couple of
20,000
months later?
people,
But
and
what
they
are
didn't
they
put
really
in
saving up
20,000
for?
people
But what are
in
people really saving
Wells
up
Fargo
for?
Arena.
Main roster.
Are you really saving up to travel to watch the Royal Rumble? Are you really saving up to travel to watch? I know people travel for
No
Royal
offense,
Rumble.
yes,
Yes, some
because
people do.
because
People get
I'm
ready for
so
Mania, bro.
I'm
They
so
get ready for
Everything. How you gonna
Ready
say
for
that,
Mania?
though?
They were getting ready for Mania
Being
and it was
Mania
Super
ready.
Bowl. And it was a Super Bowl.
I've been to being Mania ready is way different than what the Philly Royal Rumble weekend was. And the one thing I can tell you is it's just way different. It was just way different, and that's the one thing I want to focus on. And Royal Rumble weekend is cool. It's a good wrestling weekend. It's a great event. So when you're actually looking into it and you're talking, what you want to do is look like, all right, cool, Royal Rumble's here. Oh, they got a SmackDown show too, so I could probably make the Royal Rumble SmackDown show. There's really nothing else going on evolving around that WWE event. Now, when you're doing a WrestleMania, that's a whole week that you have to dedicate yourself to prepare yourself to have a
WrestleCon,
WrestleMania event. And then the other wrestling companies are going to come into that.
The indies.
You have Ring of Honor, you have Icon, you have all kinds of stuff. Ico Pro, all the wrestling companies are going to come. You have the 2300 Arena. That place is probably going to be stacked if WrestleMania ever came.
No offense, I feel like it's on small wrestling groups like ourselves to put on during weekends like that, especially when they got a big pay-per-view in your city like that. Like, I kind of think they kind of expect stuff like that to be going on around the city because Philadelphia is a wrestling city, period. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I feel like
Not anymore.
Rodney, I think if you actually, you have to be in the presence of what WrestleMania week is to actually understand where I'm coming from because of it's
what
really
do WrestleMania week got to do
it's
with
the
Royal
event-
Rumble?
Yeah.
Because that's how big they should have made it if you wanted the
it's the
ticket
same-
sales success.
They don't do that with Royal Rumble.
You shouldn't have to.
SummerSlam.
NXT is built up enough that
But
they
no,
should be able to
I'm
sell
not
out that
talking about
arena,
NXT.
and they can't.
Royal Rumble didn't even sell out.
It was the
They
first
did.
show.
They didn't sell out.
They didn't
They
sell
sell
out.
out.
Tickets were sold. I don't know if everybody showed up. Tickets definitely was sold
not a
out.
sellout.
Buy a lot of
That's
tickets.
why they was selling
I was
nosebleeds
there.
for like $150, almost
there.
$200.
But no, you know why? Because people buy it for the profit. You're allowed to buy. I do it.
Sold.
I did it before.
Sold.
I did.
Sold.
I did it for Beyonce Jay-Z
So,
concert.
somebody
I
bought that
more
ticket
tickets
because
than
they
two
knew
people
somebody
I know
was
are
going to
going.
be there.
Right.
I sold the other one.
I
and
called
made
you
the
at the last
profit.
minute, right?
I had 2 figures. That's the only reason I ain't go. And I went
Last
to,
minute. I
That's
said, yo,
crazy. I went
last
to
minute.
I went to Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I didn't go to. He bought the fucking ticket.
I went to.
fucking 2 figures.
Well, mine was a wedding gift.
hour before the show.
I had floor seats for Monday Night Raw as a wedding gift, right near the stage, which was dope. But then I was like, all right, well, now I have the little bit of extra to spend to go. All right, cool. Well, let me go to NXT. Grab tickets for NXT. Royal Rumble, I was like, I'll go to SmackDown.
What I'm saying is the same arena for cheaper. Raw, NXT, and SmackDown tickets was all the same price. More people was at Raw and SmackDown. So when I say that it's the D League, it is underneath. I seen how many people was at Raw and SmackDown, and I seen how many people was at NXT, and it was a pay-per-view, bro.
D League, so D League. How many people?
It's the D League to the WWE.
Who watches the D League in NBA?
I call it the college.
I got homies in the D League, so I do. I do. I watch
it too, but
average person doesn't.
But it's better. Listen, but the competition is still better. Like, even though I say it's a D League to the WWE, that's good because I got NXT over a lot.
But to the common person,
over everything else,
think
almost.
You're insulting him.
It's not insulting it. It's not insulting it, but y'all insulting the main roster when I say that they get promoted. Or when you say it's a brand. Like, you can't count Asuka's streak that she was beating up on D League women's wrestlers.
Do y'all trust
to the main roster?
The main roster, Triple H knows what he's doing.
Asuka didn't.
That's a brand to him.
No,
he don't care
what I'm
about
saying is Asuka's streak didn't beat no Naomi's. She didn't beat no Sasha Banks's. I mean, I'm talking about in big real matches, not in no Raw and SmackDown throwaway matches.
She beat her. It happened.
That's when they was doing jobs.
I was there when she beat Sasha.
It was a good match.
I'm talking about
Raw after Royal Rumble.
This is when the streak was bigger than her, bro. I'm talking about during the streak. I'm talking about the 165 matches before the 180 that she won. The other 165, she wasn't beating nobody. She was beating Ember Moon around the country for like a year and a half, bro.
And Bill Goldberg beat Hugh Morris. What's your point?
Bill Goldberg beat somebody on Raw and Nitro. Nitro and Thunder every week.
Again, yeah, good job. He beat Billy Kidman.
And those was the only ones that was fighting.
Sasha should beat Belly.
He beat the whole main roster. Is what I'm saying. She didn't really beat the main roster, bro.
She beat Nia Jax.
She didn't beat Charlotte. She didn't beat Becky.
The only person she didn't beat was Charlotte,
bro. When she got there, the streak was a thing already. She didn't start the streak on Raw.
Bro, it happened. She beat Bayley. She beat Sasha. She beat Nia.
They didn't build she wasn't on Raw building the streak 2 years ago. She was on NXT.
Back to the original point that I was making was
Nikki Cross. Who's Nikki Cross, Black?
I don't know.
He doesn't watch NXT,
exactly.
So
so that's the point.
I keep up with certain wrestlers.
He doesn't watch it.
Certain wrestlers.
He keep up with certain wrestlers.
Do you watch women wrestling?
No, keep it like this. Keep it like this. Y'all don't know the right question. Black, why don't you watch NXT right now?
My man Samoa Joe is going. Kevin Owens is going. All the big names is going. Bobby Roode is going. All right.
He's just not interested right now. He
They
watch
working,
NXT.
they
He's
working
just not
their
there
way
right
up
now.
to the main roster. That's their main goal. It's not they go to I want to be at NXT. No.
Except for Johnny. He needs to be at NXT.
Yeah, certain people
forever.
need to be at NXT because they're not going to make it on the main roster.
I'll disagree with that. That might be a topic for another show.
What was your point you were showing me?
So, with Charlotte beating, again, I don't agree with the tap out. I just feel like tap out is just one of those things that, I don't know, it's just like one of the weakest ways to lose, and to lose something monumental as a streak, regardless of how, I understand how you feel. I understand that you're sitting there, you're going, okay, the streak happened in NXT, regardless of anything. When you play something up big, regardless of where it started, the WWE played the streak up big. But for her to actually sit there and tap out, I felt like she should have lost to maybe a natural selection. I'm cool with a 3 count.
B-list move?
Oh, Roddy.
A secondary move?
Roddy.
The only reason
How did Ric Flair lose to Bret Hart? How he lose?
No, if that's your finisher, that's your finisher.
But listen, this is what I'm saying again.
That,
I understand, but you're talking about a streak and a monumental moment. Now, what you gotta
Flair's
look
the
at it is
greatest wrestler of
That's
all
like telling Undertaker, you can't give me a tombstone.
No. Because when you're looking, the same point that you're making, like cool. Or maybe you can sit there and damn, Charlotte had to go on a whole nother way than a figure 8.
That's her finisher, bro.
I understand it's a finisher, but she had to go beyond that for Asuka. And that's the way that they were playing it up to be. That's where the disappointment lies. They played the streak up to be where it was monumental, and then
Streak's not bigger than
wasn't
Charlotte.
big.
That's how they made
It's not bigger than Charlotte, bro. That's the respect to Charlotte.
That is a respect to Charlotte, but again, she shouldn't have tapped out.
I told y'all how Vince think. I told you what he was doing with Asuka and
I know how Vince
Shinsuke
think,
was
man.
building credible opponents. They won Royal Rumbles. They got the Japan fan base. Fuck no, that don't matter.
If it's not on WWE brand,
I mean, no, keep it real with you.
I'll never agree with that point.
Question. No, to WWE, it doesn't matter. You know.
To them, yes. But I
Samoa Joe and AJ Styles never happened to WWE yet.
I mean,
trust me, it mattered.
It matters, but it doesn't
You know why
matter.
it mattered? Because they signed them.
That's why.
showed it
But
mattered.
they're going to build them based
They're
off their
gonna
fan
build
base.
it
They
up
got it already.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, come on. You can't sit up here and say Charlotte got to do she got to find a different finish because Asuka going.
But you know why
If she's going to win, you might as well kill the streak altogether.
It's mania. It's
Undertaker
Mania.
lost at Mania. Everybody could lose at Mania.
How many F5s did he take?
So
What are you talking about? You just said
took like
that.
3.
It's a
Roman
finisher.
took more. So who cares?
Yeah, he took 6.
Roman took more.
Again, the point, but you're not.
We're not even worried about how many he took. No more.
He took the L.
In the same match, Roman took more.
That's cool, but again, he was ending the streak. You see how you had to go above and beyond to end something that,
That
means
streak mattered
something?
in WWE.
It did. That's cool. And the NXT streak,
That's how
that Oscar streak mattered in WWE. How can you say that when they promoted it? I'm not promoting it.
That was
You're
to get
not
Oscar
promoting it.
over, though. That was the only
But
reason
that's
to get
the
Oscar
point.
over.
They put it
'Cause
over.
she can't cut
they
no
put it over for
promos.
a reason, right?
Right.
She can't do what she did in New Japan and WWE.
She can't.
I can't judge her off her past life or in her
Nobody
current
judging
life.
what she
Nobody
did in New
judging.
Japan.
All right,
I'm
so
telling
what
you,
I'm saying
all
is,
wasn't even named
what I'm
Oscar
saying
in
is, in
Japan.
WWE, you gotta cut it on the mic, in the
Oscar
ring,
is a
out the
WWE.
ring.
Oscar's a WWE
Oscar
creation.
killed it without cutting the mic. She actually cut. All she had to do is say little. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to take that approach with people. She's an actual killer. I feel like Roman could take the less is more approach. And guess what? I bet you everybody will eat it up. And that's not me being funny, because he's boring. I'm telling you the truth.
No.
Less is
That's
more
a
for
hell,
certain people.
because he's supposed to be that way, though.
But so is she. That's the point. She,
Right.
That's what I'm saying. She was something that's supposed to be.
Are you
the Empress of
convinced?
tomorrow?
Are you convinced that she's supposed to run the table on the whole women's roster?
I didn't want her to run the table on everyone.
That's what I'm thinking, right.
I wanted it to be a more monumental moment where you can speak of other than a tap out.
It was a
because I
fa-
felt like going like that. It's cool.
Her
It
streak-
happened, but it just didn't. It was
Personally,
very anticlimactic. Where you're like,
her streak should have ended with Ember Moon, and it didn't. So
agree
one,
with that.
her streak was overdue. The fact that it was in NXT the whole time. Nah, her WWE roster, she only was winning matches because she was the new fresh face. Got to get her over. Got to make her look big. But like, come
she was
on,
already
bro.
big though.
She was already big.
was
Where?
already big.
Oscar is a WWE creation. They created and they promoted that streak. That streak meant something.
They did.
As much as you try to downplay shit, or downplay
They wanted
They
that.
did.
She came with a fan base, bro.
Bro,
No, they didn't.
she
They-
came with a new
All,
fucking
everybody's
name.
references,
She's undefeated,
everybody
bro. That was a
references,
WWE
everybody
creation.
references of
So
Oscar
Sasuke
are from
Nakamura
New
is WWE
Japan or
creation?
from Japan
That's
or
the same
whatever.
name you use. That's
I
a
haven't
dumbass
said one
question.
thing about
Black.
it.
Same thing.
It's a dumbass
It's the
question.
same
Black.
damn thing.
He came up
Kevin
with
Nash
the
and
same
Eve
name.
at the same person.
They gave her a different name.
The
She
same
was
way
a
they did
different
it with-
Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig at the same
Reaching,
person.
ladies and gentlemen.
But look,
He's reaching.
so
He's
look,
reaching.
so Rodney, so
Give
look
him
at
a
this.
hand.
So I'm saying, but I'm saying
Yes.
she is a WWE creation because they built up the streak. Nobody
mean,
built it up.
yes,
I haven't said
but-
one thing
no,
about
but-
her.
no,
You're
no,
saying
no.
New Japan.
When
We'll
she
say
came-
Stardom. That's
when
more
she
accurate.
came
You
to
don't know.
W-
You don't watch NXT.
When she
Don't
came-
speak on NXT.
When she came to
I can speak on
NXT,
NXT. You don't watch WWE. Don't speak on WWE.
I do watch
You
WWE.
don't. Right?
Yes, I do.
You don't got the history.
he don't know the
I
history.
don't know the
You
80s.
know what I'm
You
saying?
don't got the history.
I don't know the 80s. I've been watching since the
You know the
90s.
80s, the 90s,
That's cool.
2000s.
That's
You
cool.
don't.
So it's cool, but you understand what I'm saying? They played
But
up
what
the
I'm saying
streak.
is, when
feel
Oscar
like
came
they
to
should've made it
NXT,
more monumental.
when Oscar came to NXT, everybody knew about this chick from over here
Yeah,
who was
Japan.
killing shit. You mean that's how she came over? So let's not say that
we created
she was
it.
built.
No.
They signed her because she was the next big thing.
That's Triple H.
Messing
They
around.
got her on the
That's
roster
Triple
like they
H.
was
But that
supposed
was
to,
the
bro.
point. But you're saying that the streak wasn't. They created the streak. We didn't
created
create
it,
this.
Bro, if it was bigger than what it was, she would have won.
Yes.
No, but the thing is, they wanted a monumental
I
moment.
said,
All I said was that the moment
prior
could've
to
been bigger.
Mania, if anybody gonna lose between them two, it was gonna be Charlotte.
But guess what? I said this is what I'm saying.
But-
they wanted the same reaction with that they did get from the Undertaker losing the streak. Like it was a gasp of air. That's what they wanted, and I get it. But I feel
wasn't
like if
sold
you're
on
playing
Oscar
it up
being
so
Charlotte, though.
Charlotte was going to win.
That's
I wasn't
cool.
sold
That's
on-
not, that's not
not
like
a
a
shot.
bold
Let me ask you
prediction.
this.
It wasn't a shock then.
not a bold prediction.
Besides
Your
the
point of
streak,
view was a shock.
Besides
No,
the
my
streak.
point of view is saying that it should have been a bigger moment.
That was a great moment,
because
man.
it was like, oh my god, like
besides the
tapping,
streak,
you don't hear it. You hear that 3 count, that's something monumental. I don't know with me, that's old school. Like you hear that 3 count, like damn, it happened.
So the
That's
Chris
tapping.
Benoit joint don't count now, huh?
No, you're not. See,
all
I'm
right,
missing
you
the point.
saying
Just
tap
taking
it.
it and twisting
I
it.
think in
comparing
big
it,
matches,
it's
dog,
big.
you gotta win with your finisher.
Yeah, it's
Not
not
if,
finisher.
not
You
if
cut
that
the
was her
finisher out.
secondary finisher.
Charlotte
Yeah.
finishes with the natural selection. That was her original move.
Her finisher is the
Figure
figure
it
8.
That's her finisher.
She has multiple finishes.
So when did she
Her
create-
finishing mover is the
Her
figure
daddy
8.
finisher
This
was
is
the
a
figure 4. Her finisher is the
Her
figure
roll,
8,
come
bro.
on, man. You
Come
don't
on,
you
bro.
don't watch Ric
The
Flair.
natural
You can't tell me
selection.
this.
Oh, you know why people like Charlotte have 2 finishers? It's because when they go against a Cena-esque type character. Because you don't want Cena to tap, do you?
It's just a move.
But again, you don't want Cena to tap.
On the
When you ever seen
movements.
Cena tap to someone?
I don't know.
All
But
right, 'cause it
it's
didn't
probably
happen.
tapped though. I don't know if he's one of the people that's never tapped.
Because when he went against
But-
Rusev, they
but-
made sure he didn't tap.
He didn't
what
lose.
Did he do?
He should have lost.
No, I'm not talking about Mania. He lost to Rusev at Royal Rumble, I think it was. If I'm mistaken, somebody's going to correct me, which is fine. But I believe it was Royal Rumble when they wrestled.
To my point though, Oscar ain't John Cena. So let's get that. Let's get that correct though.
What I'm saying is, people had. You're going back off the point I'm making is that people had 2 finishers for a reason, and that's the reason why.
What you're saying makes sense is. If Asuka finisher was if her primary finisher was
I didn't want Asuka to win off the Asuka lock.
What is that her primary finisher? The
Her
Asuka
primary
lock?
finisher is the kick and the Asuka lock.
All right.
I didn't want her to
like
win
this,
off the
like this,
Asuka
like
lock.
this,
I didn't
like
want
this.
Charlotte to look like her either.
Charlotte should lose to the kick and not the finisher.
Exactly.
But she ain't Charlotte. You don't save everybody like that. The fact that Charlotte makes her tap makes her move even more legitimate. Like, I'm a queen amongst all of you peasants.
And that's
that
cool.
is the whole role with
She's an
Charlotte.
empress among peasants.
But she ain't the queen, which means you tap to the queen.
What's more valuable to you, an empress or a queen? I'm just messing with you.
In WWE,
That's the real debate.
In WWE, that's not the real debate. In WWE, she got Ric Flair genes. So until the
cool
Rock
to me.
daughter come along, Stone Cold daughter, Tully Blanchard daughter, no. I'm even going for that one. Until that gene come along,
You ain't gonna
can't
give me
just
no
be
hail
over
meal
that.
on that one. Stay away from that.
Thanks,
I ain't no Flair shit on my.
Like, you know what? No, they gotta be a Mount Rushmore type, like Jean, bro. Like, this is Ric Flair's daughter, and she's everything she says she is and more.
cool.
She don't lose the
That was
Oscar.
the perfect moment. She needed that. Make her tap at
That's
WrestleMania.
cool. I understand that was the perfect moment for Charlotte. But I don't know. It was just something within me that was just disappointed because
Let me ask you this.
it just wasn't.
Why?
It didn't end the way
Why
I wanted
lose the
to.
streak to Money in the Bank?
No one said that's a good route, but again, it didn't happen.
That don't make no sense. The fact that you
I've been
beat
more pissed off
Charlotte,
about
you're
that,
gonna
yeah.
beat
But
Charlotte,
she
and
beat
you're gonna beat
Charlotte.
Oscar.
But it makes you look
Get
stronger.
the fuck out of here, Carmella.
Well, yeah, but
Charlotte did the job after getting her ass kicked like she was supposed to.
So y'all
That's
got,
how you protect.
So who y'all got winning, Charlotte or Carmella tonight?
I need Charlotte to win.
I got Carmella winning.
Carmella's probably
unfortunately.
gonna retain.
Please, no one kill me.
Might, but
But
It's only
then
because
again,
I think it's just gonna further the storyline. Somebody's gonna get involved.
the only reason
I
I say
kinda
Charlotte
do.
might win is because I know over a lifetime she's gonna chase her dad's streak. So that's just
yeah, that's what I
another
was
title win.
saying.
That's another title win on her.
It's
On her
an
notch.
easy
How y'all feel
I
about
think she's leaving soon.
Nia Jax retaining?
Yeah.
How y'all feel about
Who's
it since she?
wrestling?
Bliss.
I don't care about Bliss. Sorry.
But then again, I
Unpopular
don't know.
opinion.
That
She
might be a
cuts
good match
promo,
though.
but she does
That
nothing
might
for
be a
me
good
as
match
watching the
though.
product.
Maybe Bliss got something for her tonight. Maybe she come with some.
Do we
Squash,
do we care
literally.
about Jeff and Randy?
Jeff and Randy.
Yes, we
I do care. No,
Legendary
Benjamin
match.
in there too. Is Shelton in there too?
No, it's just Randy and Jeff.
I thought they were gonna add Shelton to that, which
That's
I wish
his
they would have.
rematch.
Yeah,
This is
I'm
rematch.
glad Shelton is singles wrestler now.
Let me ask you this:
I got Jeff winning just because he's the new guy.
if Orton wins, does Jeff go back over?
No way.
No?
It's already done. The draft is over.
Okay.
Everybody's where they are.
making
That's
sure.
what Backlash is for. To close on everything that's on your Raw side and on your SmackDown side, so you can permanently stay. That's what Backlash is.
You don't think they're
going
going to do more like in their promotion joints because they promoting the pay-per-views as like co-branded. So
Well,
you don't
that's
think
why
they're
it's a
gonna be
big.
going-
They're co-branded because
SummerSlam be
ticket
here in no
sales were
time, man.
suffering because you want to go to like all
Money
right,
in
Two
the
shows a month.
you're only going. It's 2 shows a month. One and you kind of don't want to see like you want to see the big names on Raw. And you want to see the big names on
WWE trying to
SmackDown.
save $250,000 booking the venue every month.
Yeah, well, that too. But that's why I said it always comes down to dollars and cents.
Do you think it's going to hurt the big card?
You see that?
No, I don't think it's gonna. It won't hurt the big cards at all because wrestling is wrestling. You're gonna want to see the product. You're gonna see it for what it is, and just seeing more interesting matches. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, everybody knows me knows I hate this man, but God knows I don't want to see Mojo ever in a match on any of my pay-per-view Sundays. So just keep
I'm
him
not a
off.
fan of Mojo Rawley. And
So just keep them all off of there. But that's what I'm saying. Like SmackDown, you had to give somebody a kickoff, and he's not even the guy I want to see on kickoff. I want to see like an up and coming dude that I don't know. Like I respect to watch in the ring. I mean, I'm a Ty Dillinger guy. That dude can work his behind off. He does his thing, which is cool. But I'm not trying to see no Mojo. And I'm not. He could turn heel.
Mojo
He could
needs
turn
to be in a
face.
faction
He could turn
somewhere.
around in a circle. No matter what he does, he sucks to me.
maybe Adam Cole could save Mojo.
I don't know. I doubt that. The Miz, Seth Rollins. I got Seth. Yeah,
Monday Night Rollins. The IC is the main belt right now.
facts.
I can live with Seth Rollins tonight.
Who you got, Black? You gonna do the Miz?
He got a newborn child. He got kids.
What that mean?
Turn the belt
got
upside
kids.
down back.
He got the kids,
What that
bro.
mean? Shinsuke. This would be Shinsuke. This would be Shinsuke's 4th try at
So?
winning the WWE title. I think Shinsuke winning tonight.
Sharp.
I think we've become a very fickle wrestling fans lately. A lot of times back in when you're watching, sometimes a title chase is good for a heel or a face. Maybe being on the chase, sometimes you're better off until you finally get that moment. I mean, look at Mark Henry, what he did with a Hall of Pain. He was chasing that title when the Hall of Pain came. He was one of the biggest heels, but once he did it, everybody was kind of rooting for him to win just so he can have his moment.
Man.
I think Shinsuke's going to be similar. AJ's not doing nothing bad with the belt right now where I'm like, oh my God, all right, it's time for you to drop it. But all in all, right now with the influx of new talent, AJ has to keep the belt so we can get the matchups that we want.
I'm with that. AJ is definitely going to break CM Punk's streak. And I'm a firm believer in that right now.
Him and Brock
His
gonna do it
streak just got broken by Brock. Because they
Look, Brock
came
going to break CM Punk's streak. And then
It's already
AJ,
broken.
And AJ going to break Brock's streak. So it's not going to
I'll
matter.
never see that happening.
That's definitely not happening.
AJ not dropping the belt no time soon.
Unless it's just
AJ's not
Samoa
breaking
Joe.
no WWE record no time soon. I'm sorry to tell you.
He going to retire in the WWE.
That's fine. But that's why they're going to look
He
at
going
that
to get
way.
his retirement match versus somebody in WWE.
But I think SmackDown is going back to the way of the Eddie Guerrero SmackDown days where it's going to be very entertaining.
Yeah.
They're going to give AJ all the feuds he needs as a champion, then he'll lose it to whoever, whether it be Samoa Joe or whoever, then he'll get all the feuds he needs to put himself over as champion, then the next person will win it. If they keep SmackDown the way it is for years to come, we have some very good wrestling to watch.
I got Tourette's. I got a real question. Cut the bullshit. I want to know
into
why
it.
you motherfuckers think Kenny Omega is over AJ Styles. I got to hear
As a
it.
Bullet Club leader?
Please make me a believer.
Okay. So, I want to ask the question. How many AJ Bullet Club matches and pay-per-views have y'all won to watch to see the feuds that he's done?
All right, now, are we just talking Bullet Club leaders, or are we talking?
We're talking Bullet
AJ
Club
and
leaders.
Kenny
That was
last
the
5
argument.
years.
That was the argument that I was talking about was the Bullet Club, the most influential Bullet Club leader. You're talking AJ career.
Okay.
AJ's one.
It doesn't matter how you want it. I'm just asking.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing full career. No.
I'm not
I
doing
don't want full career.
You're making
Because
me go against somebody I love AJ.
Ace and I were talking about AJ Kenny last 5 years. Are we talking about that, or are we talking about just them as Bullet Club
let's just
leaders?
do
Because now
leaders.
we're
Let's
You
just
could
do
do
leaders.
the most influential Bullet Club leader and the more influential Bullet Club.
So,
Which the argument
okay.
is AJ and Kenny based on what people are saying. Someone's going to say Finn.
can't get
Everybody's
this
going to
argument
disagree. Finn's one, but I'm going to have to give Kenny over AJ. One, the truth be told, Kenny was really only the leader of the New Japan Ring of Honor Bullet Club when he was in Bullet Club. He wasn't in New Japan fully till later on when he was the leader, which was his last year and his last run. Carl Anderson was the leader at that time, and Bullet Club was still rocking in popularity over there. AJ took care of over here. That's how they do it all the time. They did it when Kenny Omega, Adam Cole's over there. He was the Ring of Honor dude that was leading it. Kenny Omega was leading in Japan. Nothing was coming along until you see Kenny bringing more storylines, being the elite, bringing up all these popularity things. He knows the internet. He knows the power of the internet. He knows the algorithms to get the likes, to get the money, to get the popularity. He knows all that stuff. And that's why I feel like he's the more influential leader. You want to talk about feuds, you want to talk about matches and anything as far as them and Bullet Club leaders, you got to look at Kenny put on so many classics with so many people, and I call classics. I mean, it don't have to be 5-star. It could be 4. It could be whatever stars. I don't care about the stars. You just put on entertaining matches for over 20 minutes. You look at the match he put on with Ishii. Oh, my God. You look at the match he put up with Michael Elgin. Kenny was out there. Oh, my God. And I won't even bring up the names Naito. Y'all know I love him. He's the GOAT. But what else can you give? What else can you give in 20 minutes? I mean, I can tell you all the stuff that AJ did.
Go ahead, Ace.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all
Well,
three.
I feel like Kenny. I feel like Kenny had more impact because he transcends just wrestling. Believe it or not, it's people that do know Kenny that don't know AJ Styles outside of wrestling. That's just a fact. I met him personally. Now, how many people? I don't know, but I met people that personally don't know AJ Styles, and I met people that do know Kenny Omega just because of this popular black and white shirt. And then this guy right here, they didn't have a deal with Hot Topic when AJ was the leader, and that is, and he thinks because y'all like to downplay shit that has nothing to do with WWE. And just be quiet, because you asked me a question. Let me answer it. He thinks that
He, as in Rodney.
He, as in Rodney, because I'm pointing at him, he thinks that, Wrestle Cave, when we get merch, we can just put it in Hot Topic, and it works like that. No, Hot Topic been around for 30 years. They gross 800. You did say that, bro. We could get 1,000 shirts and just put it in there. You did say that, bro.
I did say that.
Watch what you say, because I take note of everything.
Don't
But
change
here we
the
go.
narrative.
No,
of
you
how
change
I said
the.
it.
You take
Don't
comments.
just say I said it. Say
Bro.
how I said it.
Bro, you take comments that I say and you
matters.
change the narrative. But anyway, Hot Topic has been around for 30 years. They gross 800 million. They're not a small company, bro. And the simple fact is, their shit is right up there with WWE shit. And they're not even WWE. If
They
you
have
look
their own
at,
section,
they
actually.
have their own section. And if you look at WWE, their shirts are in the crowd all over. I never seen that in WWE history, where merch is in these crowds to where it's so noticeable that this company that does business with WWE had to ask WWE, why is this design not in here? Who is this? And they had to tell them that these are the Bullet Club. Who's in it? Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. And the Young Bucks. When you talk about AJ Styles as the leader and you talk about Kenny as the leader, the Young Bucks was with AJ. And they're stronger with Kenny. They have their own pop dolls, and they're the only dudes outside of WWE that have their doll that did business with them.
How Bullet Club does that?
And then that's coming. And then it opened doors. Kenny brought in Cody. You see what I'm saying? And Kenny brought in Adam. They're all a part of the elite. And Marty. And they're all part of the elite. So if he brought these people on here, Kenny got the Cody has the deep pockets. That's why he's basically funding All In. They're a part of it. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, all this is happening while Kenny is the leader. So you can't just say, well, the Bucks are doing this because the Bucks put in work. Everybody put in work, bro. But who's the leader? Who brought them over? You see what I'm saying? So this is why I feel like they transcend in their business and how they do being the elite. They make too much money. If the Bucks was to go to WWE, it'd be a pay cut. Period. So this is why I feel like they're the most impactful. And then you want to talk about in the ring, they said that Jericho had his best match of all time, one of his best matches of all time with Kenny Omega. He also had matches with AJ Styles. And his matches with AJ Styles ain't close
Didn't
to
matter,
Kenny
like
Omega.
I said, at WrestleMania. That match with Chris Jericho don't even matter.
How does it matter?
That's why I said AJ needed to win at this WrestleMania. But keep
happened
going.
at
Sorry, I
Mania.
didn't mean to jump in. I had it.
You can't even speak around these guys.
Scenario, I'm watching my partner get beat down, and I just needed to come in and stop it for a minute. Go ahead, Ace. The ref got me. Go ahead. Go ahead. You finished? Is you finished? Or is you done?
We did a blind
Or
tag.
is you
We did a
finished?
blind tag,
Or
bro.
is you done?
Listen. He did a blind tag. But look,
Go ahead. Keep going.
all these things happen. All these things happen. And then even with the storylines of the last 2 years, the situation with Okada, they're even. Okay, AJ beat Okada.
Lost to Okada too.
He lost to Okada as well.
He didn't beat Tanahashi.
He didn't
Come
beat
on,
Tanahashi.
keep it coming, Ace. Give me all that shit.
Who beat Tanahashi though?
You tell me who beat the nigga, dog. You tell me, nigga.
Kenny.
You tell me.
Kenny.
All right, come on, keep
title.
going. All right, keep going.
IC title. They're even in the position of Kenny having a main event with his young bull, Hangman Page, over Okada. Then later, the next night, Okada comes out and challenges Kenny to a 2 out of 3 fall match. They're both even. One was a draw, and they both got a win on each other. So it's cut. It's. You like to bring up Shawn Michaels because he's your favorite all the time. Remember Shawn Michaels was the guy? Yeah, he's right here, but yeah. You know he was the guy, but Brett had the title, and they knew that it was going to go to Shawn because he was the guy.
Where's the
Kenny is the guy.
toy at up there?
I gotta get one. I got Kenny's shirt on.
Just so
Shout
you
out to
know,
Mark.
he is not ever going to be mentioned in the top 10 all time because I see 4 legit guys right there who may be better than him. That's not no Rock up there, no Stone Cold up there.
I mean,
but go ahead.
that's not my argument. Yeah, that's not my argument. You know what I'm saying? My argument is the most impactful. You talk about in the ring, they both put on great matches. If they're not, if Kenny is not better than him in the ring, they're definitely on the same level. My opinion. You can't. I can't say that AJ is better than Kenny just because he went to WWE and he's a WWE champion. I can't say that. I'm going off of the work. I'm going off of the things that they do. I've seen plenty of great matches in the G1 with Kenny better than the throwaway shit that AJ's been doing.
Hold on.
We seen AJ
G1,
versus
that's a New Japan pay-per-view.
AJ had a good G1
It's a
tournament.
big New Japan pay-per-view over there. I got you though.
Well, it's a tournament, not
Tournament.
not a
Excuse me.
pay-per-view.
The winner get to go to Wrestle Kingdom and fight the winner. I got that part down. Go ahead. I got you though.
So my
I
thing
fuck
is,
with it a little bit.
So my thing is like even the KO and AJ shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's just exclude the WWE because WWE is watered down and you could do more in New Japan. Let's just speak on the facts and let's speak on what happened. Well, we got tired of seeing AJ and KO over and over again.
Who?
I never get tired of KO.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm just saying that the U.S. title matches with the.
I tripped this partner on outside of the ropes. He wasn't there.
I'm talking about as far as like the finishes. I'm talking about the finishes and the
Well, no, I
matches.
get that. I'm
you
messing
see what I'm
with
saying?
you.
I'm just saying, like,
KO's
I love
my
KO.
favorite wrestler. I'm a little biased with that.
I know. He's biased. He's definitely biased. I'm talking about Black. But anyway, I'm just talking about what happened. Even the AJ Styles match and Shinsuke, that was supposed to be like monumental because of what they did in New Japan, and when they did it at Wrestle Cave, you see what I'm saying? Or not Wrestle Cave, when they did it at WrestleMania. When they did it at WrestleMania, the match was underwhelming. You know what I mean? It wasn't that great of a match.
But just so you know, guys, that means WWE pays attention to outside wrestling. I had to make that point.
It's always been competition.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. They
Can we?
Always
Are
be a
y'all
competition.
going sell for us a little bit? Can we get in?
Damn.
I got one more point. Like Rodney was saying, New Japan been around forever. You know what I'm saying? His favorite faction of all time, NWO. Am I right? Am I right about that?
Don't speak for me. Speak for yourself.
I'm just saying. I'm asking you a question.
No, it's not.
It's not your favorite faction?
No, it's not.
It's one of your favorite factions?
It's up there. Yes.
It's up there.
Four Horsemen is clearly my
okay,
favorite
at the
faction.
Four Horsemen, it's NWO?
Maybe.
Okay,
Maybe not.
well, they were in New Japan, but at this point, New Japan is at a level where it's never been at. And who's leading that pack outside of Okada? The fucking Bullet Club. And your man, Kenny Omega, he speaks fluent Japanese and he speaks English. So this is the reason why they're doing shows over in America now. And it's going to be, they're going to eventually do more shows in the U.S. And this is the reason why they made a U.S. title just for him. They made a title just for him to elevate other people.
So your hopes and dreams,
Fuck
they gonna
that.
come over again.
Fuck that.
WWE.
It's not about hopes and dreams. I'm talking about all facts.
Fuck that.
All right, y'all can speak outside.
All right, listen.
Because my man wasn't even done, you know what I mean? But you,
All right,
you
my fault,
called me
my
out.
fault.
Because I got other points to make, but I want to hear yours.
Yeah,
It's
go ahead.
counter. That's why we got to counter it.
My fault.
Let's counter. You go.
Somebody got the bell money out for this motherfucker right now because this conversation changed, but it's cool because we could talk about this
It went
leadership.
left.
Because
It's
I
WWE
want
versus New Japan now.
No.
That's
That's not.
It's
No. That's fine.
speaking
That's
up for
fine.
New Japan.
We're
I
going.
told you I'm not in the Bullet Club
Let's talk about this.
conversation.
Let's talk about this Bullet Club.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
That's what they told me.
First off, you're saying AJ Styles is not over Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega has still yet to touch what belt in New Japan?
June 9th is coming.
We still talking about something that's coming and it's not here yet. And
The childhood dream ain't come true yet?
God damn. Like AJ Styles touched the belt versus Okada on his what try?
You said what?
On his what try? How many times it take him to get the belt?
One time.
All right. So when Carl Anderson was kind of, holding it down while Finn Balor was going, the minute that the motherfucking AJ Styles pulled up, he let everybody know what it was. He shot the motherfucking gun in motherfucking Okada's head, if I'm correct. Can I get, you remember that?
What's up?
When he put his foot on Okada's chest and shot him dead?
That's facts.
Cool.
All right.
They're playing off the TNA, but that's facts.
So the guy that Kenny, you talking about him and Kenny are even, the feud still favors Okada. I don't care if it's even because it's a tie. He lost for the belt where it mattered. Am I correct? Now title matches don't matter? Kenny didn't get the job done.
Okay.
On how many tries? Can you answer that for me? I didn't watch all 3 matches. 2 tries, right?
Is he a world champion?
No, he's not the IWGP.
He didn't win
heavyweight
twice, right?
champion.
He's never been a world champion.
Oh, he's not the IWGP heavyweight champion.
Was he
Was
WCW
AJ
champion?
Styles
What's WCW? I'm talking.
Was he an NWA champion? AWA champion?
He was
TNA champion?
He won DDT Pro Wrestling.
Now you're going
champion.
full career.
Like,
You're going full career
I'm
now.
just checking.
going
I'm
full
just,
career.
I'm just trying to see his heavyweight championship status because once upon a time
was AJ IWGP Intercontinental?
he was the world
World
champion
champion.
twice,
That's all that mattered.
and he gave. Who did he fight and he lost to in that Intercontinental title? One of the best
Shinsuke.
matches of his fucking life.
Yeah, Shinsuke.
All right, so you're welcome, Shinsuke, who is now over here on this
Did he
bandwagon.
beat Tanahashi for the hard? Oh,
All right, we're hearing all this. He was there for 2 years.
okay.
Not How long Kenny Omega been over there? Like 8-9 years already? Straight.
Oh, go on.
Straight. Didn't touch the belt.
listening,
Like
I'm
you,
listening.
I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out where he is the better leader because I'm gonna take Kenny Omega best 2 years. Y'all can pick his best 2 years, and you compare it to AJ Styles 2 years with the Bullet Club. It's not comparison.
They were Bullet Club leaders at the
Everybody
same
in the
amount of
Bullet
time.
Club had a belt. Bullet Club was cool again as a wrestling faction because it reminds you of the WCW days when NWO was running shit. It reminds you of the Four Horsemen days when everybody had the belts. They was stunting on everybody.
That's the first time I ever heard of the Bullet Club when AJ
For
Styles.
people, for people in America, once upon a time, before the internet got involved in wrestling, you couldn't never hear about this shit unless you had the tapes, or if you had friends who was really on the underground of the wrestling shit.
Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
So thank God for YouTube. Like I got a cousin. Shout out to Grayson. Yeah, man. He. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't ever seen ECW back in the day, Eastern Championship Wrestling. Like I had to get the history lessons once upon a time. But what I'm saying is, you can't just sit up here and talk about the guy who been over there for 10 years versus the guy who came over there for 2 years, did it all, put on.
He wasn't in Japan for over 10 years.
Where he been at?
There was DDT Pro Wrestling. He was most of his career. He came over along the lines with Kota Ibushi.
So that's why. Did you want
He
to talk about the
probably had,
last 5 years? Because if his
no,
last 5
we're
years not
talking
his
Bullet
best
Club,
work,
but you're talking
if
Bullet
his
Club
last 5
leadership.
years not his best work, we don't need to worry about nothing
But
before.
what I'm saying is that he was there longer than AJ, yes, but we're talking Bullet Club leadership. AJ has put on classics in New Japan. Trust me. My favorite New Japan series that I've seen in the
AJ
match,
reestablished the Bullet Club.
again, the Bullet Club was already established. Again, he
And then
reestablished
it
them
got
here.
bigger.
Here.
It got bigger when AJ.
Always been.
People don't even know Finn Balor as the leader. People got to go back and be told that.
No, there's no way.
You gotta
I've been
tell
a-
me that.
You
don't even
a
watch
New
NXT.
Japan. Listen, you a New Japan head. You a New Japan head. So you probably
It's
seen
not
the
the
shit.
main roster. I
You
watch
probably
the
seen
main
the shit the night that it happened or the week that it happened. You probably was on point with it. But like for American wrestling fans, out of 10 wrestling fans in America, how many do you think watch
But
New
guess
Japan?
what?
I'm asking you.
How many people watched it personally from when AJ Styles was there? It was getting popular.
I know
at the
people
time.
who
It
watched
made
it
more
because
popular.
I know
AJ
people
Styles, man.
because AJ Styles was
Yes,
there.
because and that's cool and that's fine. And yes, he made it. But we're talking more influential as a leader. And that's what I'm saying. When you're talking more influential, you're talking.
Ronnie, AJ Styles is gone.
The
so
Styles. No, it's not even that. He's gone because
He's gone.
I
He
acknowledge
moved on.
him.
He moved
on.
up.
It's
He got
over.
paid.
He got the
man.
belt. It was over.
Yeah, man.
He
And then
get
his
paid.
friends from that club came
Came
over
there.
and joined this club.
After AJ Styles
They
went
followed
out,
the
they all
leader.
followed AJ Styles.
They followed the leader.
They knew WWE's words.
I mean, I don't.
AJ wanted a
this
part
one
of
thing
that
that-
Bullet Club Day money.
Excuse me.
AJ wanted a part of that Bullet Club Day money.
Because
He'll get it in the contract when he say,
He
I
already
might be
got
going
it.
back.
He already got it.
All right, then he
the
got
Bullet
it
Club
then.
Day money, that was what, 2 days ago for t-shirt sales? He said, yeah, please, let me make it. I'm going to be a part of that. And what I'm saying, I'm not going against AJ. Because you know what? He gave me some of the best views in New Japan.
If you're a Bullet Club fan, you was
Not
a
even
fan
my-
of
that's
AJ
not my
Styles
favorite-
before Kenny
that's not even
Omega.
my favorite faction.
No, I'm not
but-
saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying if you're a Bullet Club fan, you was a fan of Kenny Styles before. AJ Styles before Kenny Omega because
They
he
were
was in
there
it, right?
together.
Who was first?
Kenny.
Who came later? Kenny was in Bullet Club first. All right, just making sure. He's
He
fucking
came
with
in,
me.
but guess what?
But
Yes, I like
he
that.
came later. I mean, I think their stories tie into each other. But come on, dog. He ain't even the leader
I think you
now.
listen what the argument
He's not
is.
even the leader now. Cody the leader now.
Since when?
Since he took over.
He didn't take
He
over.
since took over.
he
He's
took
never been
over.
the leader. That's the whole feud that
That's
they're
the whole
doing.
feud.
Excuse
They're
me.
doing the feud because he's not the leader.
Excuse me. Your man just said Cody's paying for everything. So yeah, since Cody took
Oh,
over.
oh. No.
Since Cody took over.
Because Kenny can't pay for none of that stuff because if he's actually exclusively
he don't got no money.
contracted.
No.
He's not making no money.
Contracted to New
Nope.
Japan Pro Wrestling.
Listen.
Cody is actually a freelancer, is what
Cash
they call it.
rules everything around you.
And
He can't
trust
put
me,
his
Kenny
money.
got it.
He don't got what Cody got.
You
Well, that's
crazy.
because Cody's a freelancer.
Because Vince ain't cut his check.
Cody's
That's
a
why.
freelancer.
Because Vince didn't cut his check.
Oh,
That's
no.
why.
It's
His
Cody's
dad
a
ain't
freelancer.
Dream. That's why.
That's
Well,
not
that's
even
true.
a part of the
You
argument.
mean?
But what I'm saying
His
is,
dad ain't-
Cody's not the, Cody
Fact.
wasn't the leader. So
I mean,
again, it goes back to the argument of
Kenny's
Ring of
more- I
Honor.
mean, Cody's more
Ring of Honor
valuable.
had a leader, and New Japan had a leader. That's always been since Bullet Club. So when you're looking at
I come
Bullet,
to understand that and learn that.
so
I know
Cody
that
was
part.
ROH before because the Young Bucks were kind of running the show back then. Before Cody, it was Cody and it was Kenny in Japan, but then it was Adam Cole. So that's where their beef. That's how they always tell the Bullet Club storyline. So that way, when people do get promoted,
So it sounds like I'm being told that the Young Bucks pull all the strings for Kenny. So where is Kenny being the
he has an exclusive
leader.
contract. He only comes in the Ring of Honor as a talent exchange. You got to understand the business side of it, where when you're exclusive to a company.
Let's talk about in ring.
Okay, we can
Let's
talk
talk about
in
in ring.
ring.
I don't want to get
But
to
make your
nobody
point,
contracts
though.
in nobody pockets.
Well, no. So what I'm gonna say
Let's get back to the in ring.
No, because that plays
Let's
a
get back
part.
into
That plays a
in-ring.
part in the argument,
It plays a
though.
part in the influential part because freelancing and being exclusive to a company is way different. And Cody is a freelancer, and I give him that. Young Bucks are actually freelancers. They're one of the biggest freelancers.
Where Cody
that I've
make
ever
his
seen.
name at?
Oh, again, but
Oh,
he never got
why you can't say it? Why you can't say
He
it?
made it.
You biased, man.
Why you don't want
I'm
to say
not
it?
biased.
You
You're
can't even
biased.
say it.
Wrestling.
Say it. Where
You're
Cody
biased.
make his
I'm
name
a
at?
wrestling fan.
Where did Cody
I
make his
watch
name
wrestling.
at?
He made it in WWE. That's
Oh.
where he started.
Where did
Wrestling.
he become a superstar? When did he become a superstar? When
Was
he
he not
got
already a
left?
superstar?
No,
When he left.
WWE.
Was he not already a superstar in WWE?
When people say
In legacy, next to Randy Orton.
when Cody,
Was he
whoa,
not a
whoa.
superstar?
No,
Yeah, I
he was
watch
a
wrestling,
superstar.
yeah.
So when Cody quit, that's when people started going, oh, Cody put out the list. You know, this is just sidebar conversation. Cody put out the list of people he wanted to wrestle on the indies or whatever you wanted.
Because it's a thing now.
But he put out the list. He goes, yeah.
'Cause the
He-
little
he
guys don't get the
But he
belt.
capitalized on it. He was like, yeah, I'm going to go wrestle these guys. Marty Scurll, Pat Buck. He had all these people on the list. Moose.
Kurt
He accomplished
Angle. Yeah, I
everybody.
know. I seen the list.
But he accomplished. He had
I
the
saw the
list
list.
out there. And what did you have people saying? I don't care about Cody. He wasn't in WWE. He wasn't this. Cody was not a superstar in WWE.
No.
Because
He wasn't the top
He was a
superstar.
well-known name.
He was definitely amongst the elite in the mid card.
Is he bigger now,
What has he ever?
or was
honestly,
he bigger then?
What is he big? He's done more on the indies for himself. On the independents, freelancing, he's done more for himself.
He's not who he is because without WWE
like-
to do what he's doing on the independent circuit.
So what happened to Jack Swagger?
I personally
doing
just don't
UFC.
like Jack Swagger. So
I'm just saying,
what are you
Jack
asking me
Swagger.
about? What are you asking me about?
You're talking about Jack Swagger, who now he's
Was
a
a
Lucha
champion.
Underground. Did you know that?
And he was a
no, I
champion.
didn't. Trust me,
I don't like Jack Swagger. He
Well,
never
that's
did.
what I'm saying.
I mean, I like the
He
people
was a
who
WWE
were-
champion, Money in the Bank winner.
Worst idea all time. And
Okay.
I'm
Again,
not
but
against
what
that.
I'm saying is that sometimes people aren't popular where in WWE. Sometimes they create a bigger legacy leaving. That's what Cody did to me. He created a bigger legacy than he ever could. And it was only because
Cody's over Kenny,
he's a
I
free
agree.
thinker, and he's definitely like, he thinks
Cody's
bigger.
over Kenny, I agree.
And why is
Yeah,
this?
he always-
But why is
hell
this?
yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm not debating none of that. I'm not debating
But
none
what
of
I'm
that.
saying is, but
but
you
what
can't-
I'm trying to figure out, where does this man get the audacity to talk crazy about
Because
AJ Styles?
He's a member.
and Kenny Omega.
Cody's a member.
But what he said
Cody's a
was-
member.
oh, go ahead.
One question. You don't think WWE is the major leagues?
The major leagues.
The major.
It was like I told you in the conversation earlier. What did I say? I said you have
Yes
you
or
have
no?
different people. There's
wanna break it
actually a
down.
difference, and it was just like you said. Remember when we were talking? We had the NBA conversation. I said,
What percent
I
of
love
wrestling does
basketball.
WWE make up? That's the question.
No.
Oh, there you go. But
That's the question.
But to see the big league term, that's the kind of term that
That's the
bothers me. But
question,
you know what I
though.
mean? They're not the only people in the big leagues.
Just
That's
like
what
the
that's what
NBA
you're
is not-
mistaken.
Listen. For the last, what's this, 18, 17 years,
WWE
there
is
hasn't
big.
really been a mainstream alternative because they were
In
bought out.
America, because
There hasn't been
Global.
a mainstream
Global.
alternative.
Global.
You got to go to another country as a wrestler from America and be away from your family or relocate your family because there is no other mainstream wrestling here.
exactly.
That's my point.
That's the point.
Here.
That's the
Thank
point.
you.
Here.
That's my point.
But
Thank you.
understand,
And who's
we
leading
are
it now?
here and not
Who's
in
leading him
Japan.
now? But who's leading? Why do they have shows in U.S. now? Who's leading? Who is leading?
They
as
trying to
far as
catch
that?
up. They're not there, bro.
not
Catching
catching
up.
It's not
They
catching
are
up.
trying to catch up. Popularity, mainstream. They can't throw an event at the same time
Are
in
y'all
the
gonna
same
answer
city
my
of
question?
WrestleMania, and then everybody just not
Keep
going to
cutting them the fuck
WrestleMania.
off.
Is
You
it
keep
yes
cutting them the
or
fuck
He's gonna
off.
tell
I
me.
ain't say-
He's gonna tell me. Oh, the Bullet Club they about to the
answer
elite.
the
They're about to
question,
do a
Ace.
show, and they're gonna sell
Is
out a
WWE
$10,000
Do you know why that
Bro,
show happened?
I don't look at it like that.
I know. The Meltzer challenge. I
look
get
at it
it.
like
But
that.
understand this.
Look at it like
WrestleMania is one show
Depends
that's
on-
10 times
depends on
bigger
who
than
comes.
that one show. So you can't make it that big of a grand thing. It's dope as shit that all these wrestlers coming together that's not on WWE contract and coming together and wrestling and putting on dope shows because they all know WCW and that checkbook ain't around no more. That's why it was
that Turner
competition.
closed his
You
checkbook.
need that check. You need that TV time. You need that fan base. At least here in America.
Prisoners in their own
When
mind.
WWE ain't always been number one, I used to be mad. I was more tuned into WCW because the NWO was on WCW.
That's you, bro.
All you got to do is have a T. They don't got no airplay, bro. If it wasn't for the internet, you would
want
not be
nothing.
be a fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling right now.
That's not.
So what?
Whose fault is that?
Him, not you.
But that's
him.
not whose fault.
So
is
what?
that? But that's not
So what?
no one's fault. You know what I mean?
So what?
That's like.
But I am a fan, so.
So what I'm saying is you can't keep trying to discredit WWE.
Listen,
they put up all the territories.
I didn't say anything.
They put up all the territories. They own all the history.
Is it the big leagues? It's not a big league. It's the main.
It's like you don't want to say it. Like we just have to acknowledge it. It's like saying
NBA got to go with something.
NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL. Those is the number one brand, bro.
They on Sports
Center.
Center.
Big leagues, that's a baseball term. When you make it to the big leagues in baseball,
he's Cuban. You gotta understand. It is a baseball term.
It is a baseball term. One.
It is a baseball term.
So when you say you're making it, can I make my point? Can I make my point? I want to be technical. I'm gonna be technical.
Let me answer the question.
It's stupid. All right. What was the first thing I said? He said it's WWE big. I said I hate the term the big leagues.
He just said that.
And I said you're not hearing me out.
But he don't want to say it.
But no. Let me finish. But you're not letting me finish.
Trying to say Kenny Omega is bigger than The Rock now.
Did I say that?
You're crazy.
All right.
It's Kenny Omega bigger
Anyway,
than
Riley,
Undertaker.
since I think you're actually listening to the point I'm making. When you say big leagues, I hate the term because that's a baseball term. When you make it to the big leagues in baseball, that means you're coming from developmental, and they're coming from the farm
is
system.
WWE number one on the
overall?
wrestling
Yes.
brand?
Yes.
All right. What I'm saying
I never
is,
denied that, but all I said was I hate the term big leagues
Because-
because a big league is not that means you're not getting big checks. And that's where the term big leagues come from. When you're in the minor system in baseball, you got to make it to the big leagues to get the big checks.
Well, big
all right, we're not gonna fight over that.
NFL.
We're not gonna talk.
Am I right or wrong?
Because they get big checks in
They
big
get
pants.
But they get the biggest checks, bro.
Being dumb. Right?
Besides maybe the top 5 wrestlers on your brand,
Exactly.
but it's just like
That list, a lot of them
overall
don't
on
get
an
that much
average, bro.
That list, a lot of them don't get that much money.
So-
Adrian posted a list. It wasn't. They didn't make that
Yo,
much.
Randy
money.
Orton was making $6 million a year
That's
at least
cool.
2 years ago.
But guess
So it's
what?
just like I know
It's
you're
not
not
like
seeing
it's
it.
All about how you sell. You got 4 wrestlers up there. They all sold.
I'm glad
they
you make
all
that point.
sold.
I'm glad you make that
Hall of
point.
Famers.
Because the Bucks sell a lot of merch.
You know, JR been trying to sign them for years.
You know they be trying to sell Kenny
Young
for years.
Bucks.
Yeah.
They don't need Kenny now.
Then why they beg him 5 times?
Kenny don't need
But
them.
anyway, so Ronnie,
Because
you
it's
said.
money. It's money on the table to be made. This is not done.
But that's why they don't want to. They want to make it independently.
He
That's
done
why-
brought Jeff
this is
Jarrett
a free-
back. Come on,
This
like,
is a
what the
free
fuck?
thinker, freelance.
They want the Young Bucks.
Thank you.
They want the
They're
Young
not
Bucks
free
because they're a
thinkers.
tag
This
team,
is
not
a-
because they singles wrestlers,
But no,
because
but
they're
what
a
I'm saying
tag
is-
team.
But what I'm saying is, this is a freelancing, free thinking environment nowadays where you want to make your money independently
They're
instead
not
of
free
handing
thinkers.
it to the big machine. It's just
Man,
like
I'm
major-
one of the biggest free thinkers you ever gonna meet.
Not when it comes to
But you
WWE.
don't want to
You are.
deny the. I just don't deny the fact of what it is. I'm
WWE
open to
solidified
Yo,
now. They on
y'all
Sports
used to
Center.
sit up here and tell me I need to
They-
watch
they-
NXT.
it
I
was
watch NXT,
NFL.
bro. But it's not just.
They
So
text
if I
me.
pull up an ESPN article about New Japan, what would you say?
They ain't gonna text you. It's not on that category.
It is in the category. It's in the wrestling category.
It's not on that
Is it about
slot
Chris
where
Jericho?
Sports Center.
Huh? No,
No,
it
Jericho.
actually
I was
wasn't.
asking.
It was actually about the Wrestle Kingdom pay-per-view, and it wasn't about Jericho. They were
Wrestle
pointing out
Kingdom what?
Okada. They were talking about Okada.
Wrestle Kingdom
Street,
what?
The year before.
No, I want to see that. I would like to see it just for
Show me.
just to be put in
And
my
then-
place and set a classification. It wasn't this year, not 12.
No,
They
they
was
talked
about
about
11?
I'm not gonna say they didn't talk
It was
about
about
Question.
11 or was it about 12?
And they actually talked about there was an
What was this
article
article
about.
posted?
Whoa, let me pull it up.
I want something like the night after Royal Rumble. WWE's all over Sports Center.
So I'm gonna read this. This is from
never
this is
just,
from
like-
ESPN.
They all over Sports
So
Center.
we never. That's not our. That's not
Ain't
the
no
argument.
another wrestling company gonna come
So
do
this
that in
is this is
America.
an article from June 29, 2017, and it clearly says America exports War Machine are taking New Japan Pro Wrestling by storm. And this is just a basic article with no
Who
big
is the
pay-per-view around it.
publisher? Like,
Tim Fioranti of ESPN.com. And this is June 20, 2017. So just so y'all see it right there, ESPN, and there's War Machine.
okay,
Which
I've heard
you're
of
not
them.
taking-
I've heard of them. They're pretty big, but I've heard of them. They're on NXT now.
They are on NXT.
Yeah,
now.
they're big time, bro.
But
They're big time, bro. That's why they on NXT.
Did you say
That's why they
NXT was
came
big
over. They
leagues?
big time,
You
bro.
say NXT was big leagues?
That's the next step to WWE. Come on,
Anyway,
it's
but-
money. Go
I thought
They
you
is
said
the D-League to
developmental.
WWE.
What's wrong with you?
Developmental.
They're the D-League to
What's wrong with
WWE.
you?
No, he
Not
said
everybody
big
else.
What's wrong with you?
Not everybody else.
What's wrong with you?
One of the
That's
big
retarded,
things.
man.
One of the big things.
That's
They were
the
making.
same
They were
word,
making
man.
buku bucks on overseas doing their tours. One of the big things that he did say, Raymond Rowe, member of War Machine. Yes, they did sign the WWE, but you know who also signed the WWE? I mean, if you're a family man, you will know his wife Sarah Logan is signed to WWE. So basically, you
I didn't know
wanna
that was
come
his
home.
wife.
That is
But I
his
like
wife.
Sarah Logan.
But what you want to say? I like her too. But what I'm saying is sometimes the traveling gets old to people, and that's when they sit there and say, you know what, WWE is going to be my best option. But it's not.
Because
But
why?
I'm not
It's
saying
home.
they're not.
It's not Japan.
Well, no, it's not travel. It's not all this like, oh, I got to go here. I got to.
They still got to do that.
No, they don't have to do it like that. You're
not
doing
in
it-
NXT,
you're
they're
doing
not
it
in
with some-
Tulsa, but they're still city to city to city to city to city in
They're not
WWE.
flying 14 hours here.
They driving.
Another 12 this
They're
hour.
driving.
But what I'm
Another-
saying is
driving.
the travel is different.
Travel
You can,
different.
So for when you're wrestling in New Japan, when you're wrestling in Ring of Honor, you're definitely traveling from. You're gonna do a show in Philly, and I seen it because I went to that show. They did a show in Philly, and they're like, "Oh, I'm talking to the what was his name, Tiger." He's like, "Oh, I gotta go over here." They went to Japan and Philly. That's a long travel. So sometimes you get tired of the travel, and they're big dudes. And what I'm saying basically is like. When you say big leagues, again, that's a term I don't use. WWE is the number one. Oh, it doesn't make you mad. I'm making my point.
I'm gonna show you. That's my point. Big leagues.
Okay, cool. And I guess WCW's where the big boys play. I guess
It was. Yes,
it's done.
Turn attack.
It was.
His checkbooks was open.
Checkbook, baby. They
Hey,
booked
checkbooks
what
are
they had
open.
to bring. They
That's
booked
the
what
only
they
person
booked
who
it
can't
You
down.
can't
That's
make a millionaire when you're not cutting $1 million checks.
So-
So that means somebody's getting it from somewhere. Right or wrong. And WWE ain't cutting them checks.
They was putting
And
it
guess
on.
what?
certain people.
But you know why? But no. Because Kevin Owens said it best in one of the interviews I heard. He was sitting there talking about how his experience, and he realized like, hey, maybe I should sell my own merch, make my own money. Pro Wrestling Tees came into effect, where all they had to do is pay the T-shirt price and maybe a small fee for their T-shirt being printed. They're making 90% of the profit off of that.
And
Yeah, I think
wanna
an extra
give-
$1,000 a month
for
is
several
good
wrestlers?
anywhere.
Why would you want to sit there and go, hey, I got to give this cut to?
And that was my rant.
And that's basically
Because you don't have to pay for it. Because you don't have to worry
But
about
you're
the
making more money.
The distribution.
You don't
because
think
you got
so, though?
because you got professionals in your corner helping you come
they
up
have
with
a
designs,
professional t-shirt company.
helping you
Who
push
made more
it.
money than The Rock in Hollywood?
Huh?
I don't know. Where you going with this?
Anyway, back to the point
Who
where
made
They
more
still
money?
do.
That's
Pro
through
Wrestling Tees
WWE.
Carson Tees does it for them. They don't do it
But
themselves.
bro, you're
you
speaking
know
a
it.
lot as an independent artist, but when you get signed, you don't gotta worry about the things of an independent
Who wants
artist,
to
bro.
get signed to a fucking label nowadays? If you
Everybody
can
want
do
to
it
go to
yourself.
WWE.
But now-
Everybody want to go to
You got
WWE.
movies.
Everybody
You
want
got
to go to
toys
WWE.
everywhere, bro. Like,
You faking the funk about WWE, bro.
No.
You went to WrestleMania.
Listen. I'm not hating on New Japan or Ring of Honor.
Nope.
It's good wrestling.
Nope.
It's great fucking wrestling.
The impact is
But
more
bro,
than just
they
wrestling.
can't sell
That's
out
my.
Wells Fargo Arena, and that is a small NBA arena,
They're about
bro.
to sell out 12,000 in September. It's about to go
Wow,
down.
12,000.
Nothing.
They just
It
put
doesn't
100,000 at
matter.
WrestleMania. Like,
Nothing.
you was there.
It's a
You was
challenge.
part of the 100,000 that was at WrestleMania,
Bro, I'm
bro.
not comparing
They gotta
that.
do 10 of
You're
those
talking
shows
about a
at one time.
corporation versus
Put all that many people
You're
in
talking
there.
about independently.
But
Like,
what you're turning
oh
this
my
into
God.
is WWE versus like.
That's
I told you
No,
before.
no.
not.
What I'm trying to turn
That's
this,
not.
no, what I'm turning this
Yes,
into
you
is like I'm not going to allow him to make it seem like New Japan and Ring of
bigger than
Honor
WWE.
is bigger. It's not.
It's not.
It's
Y'all
him.
saying it.
Him. I'm not going to say you. I'm not going to say you.
When did I
When did I
Him.
say it's bigger than
Always
WWE?
saying it.
When did I say
Always
it's bigger
saying
than
it.
WWE?
You here because he think that.
No, not even. When did I say it was
You
bigger?
is back up.
When did I say it was
Rodney
bigger
heard
than
me.
WWE?
Rodney heard me.
No, I know where you stand on it. I know where you
I
stand.
never
on
said
it.
they were bigger
I
than
know where you stand.
WWE.
But you're making it seem like because they got to deal with Hot Topic and
That is
and
a
they
big
can
deal.
sell
It is
they
a
can
big
sell
deal.
1,000 shirts. Bro, WWE got a whole network, and every Monday they tell you it's 40% off, and they
Listen,
sell probably
listen to point.
just as many shirts you're gonna sell in a month in one night, bro. It's bigger. It's the machine that people always trying to get
product.
away
That's
from,
not the
bro.
argument.
But the argument is so I don't know, like if you look into how Pro Wrestling Tees, which they actually have their own article on ESPN, you know that big league thing you're talking about.
Big league, yeah.
So they're actually that T-shirt company actually has an article on ABC on CBS Sports, and they have it on ESPN as well, talking about how they're a T-shirt distribution company where it's not even just wrestlers, it's podcasters.
There's
You
a
know
lot-
what I mean?
there's a lot of people in there.
that it's on
There's a
there.
lot of people in there.
And actually, not to my mistake. Who's
Bro,
your
soon
favorite
enough,
wrestler?
you gonna sell
Wait.
your shirts
Let me
on
just
that
turn this
motherfucker.
around real quick. Who's your favorite wrestler again, Blood?
Shawn Michaels.
Both of you guys. I posted an article of someone just opening their own Pro Wrestling Tee store because they wanted to get some cash in their pockets. Who just opened up their own Pro Wrestling Tee store?
Tell me.
Shawn Michaels.
He did?
Yeah, he don't work for WWE no more.
But he
But
actually is
but he is
contracted.
on
He's under
brand,
contractor.
Roger.
Yeah,
He
you
is
start
own
doing it.
brand
Just
now,
like I was
bro.
comparing The Rock.
He is
That's
own
what
brand
you're
because of
supposed to do now.
WWE,
But
bro.
what
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is
You
see
take
what
the
I'm-
ball.
But
You
listen to
drop
the point.
the
You're
ball.
missing
Listen
the
to
point.
the
What
point.
I'm saying is
He's
you
a
said-
legend, and he's doing it
But you
on
said-
some
But
independent
Anybody
shit.
can do it. Holy
He
got his
has-
own store.
But Shawn Michaels still has a little section in WWE shop. What I'm saying is,
He always will.
But you always mention the fact that you're like, oh, you can make bigger. You need the machine to get this merch out. You really don't.
Yeah,
That's
they
not
made
what
it.
I'm saying.
No, he said
but
that.
it's
That's
bigger
exactly- that
when
was-
you go through the machine.
Cody Rhodes,
Not.
wherever he goes, solidified
Like,
now.
put it like this. Keep it 100 with you. Keep it 100,000. And y'all go ahead and lie to my face out in this podcast right now.
Go ahead.
If the Young Bucks put their shit through WWE
It's over.
right
They
now,
busy every-
what's going to
everything.
happen?
They're not because they're making too much
No.
money.
That's not what I said. I said if they got signed WWE and WWE was putting they shit 1,000,000 times more than what they pushing,
Shit. It's
what's
over.
going to happen?
That's never
How
been
can
an
you
argument.
but they're pushing the same amount.
No, answer the question.
What's the thing? It's gonna be the same
Answer
results.
the question, bro.
They're billionaires for a
Bro.
reason. They're
Bro.
gonna be the same result. You think they're
Bro.
gonna make more money by giving
Bro.
some cut to WWE?
Bro.
Yeah, I can't
Yes.
agree with that.
You
And
think
they're going to
so?
sell more.
I don't think so.
Sting
You know
did
how
They're
it.
much
sell
percentage
more.
that they
Sting
take?
did it.
They're going to sell more.
You
You
get
think
a
that
high
WWE
percentage.
doesn't take a big cut because there's a reason?
Let me ask you
why-
this. Do you think they sell more than Do you think they sell more than 20,000 shirts a month?
Yes.
Yes.
I know. That
How
for-
much more?
I know that to be a fact.
How many shirts do you think?
They sell probably close. Man, I think they're selling probably close to like 100,000 a month, probly.
All right.
They're deceased.
All right.
You're talking
All right.
hot. You're talking
All right,
hot
so
topic. You're talking.
all right,
pro
so we'll
wrestling
stop right
tees,
there.
And
We'll
you're
stop right
talking
there.
their
We'll
own
stop right
website.
there. We'll start right there. So we'll take the #1 shirt in WWE, whatever it is.
Stone Cold
What
Steve
you
Austin.
think that's
You
selling?
like that? You should get that. These shirts are nice, by the way. I'm not trying to plug Shawn Michaels, but I mean,
No, it's my man.
I mean,
No, we fuck with pro
That's
wrestling
not
teams. It's dope for the independent artists. Like when you a Ring of Honor artist and you don't got that big
why
fan
did-
base like you got
but
from
AJ Styles went on
WWE,
there
that
2
makes
days ago.
sense.
AJ Styles definitely went on there.
All right, well he
Big.
eating off both websites because he eating off WWE too.
And he holding his title right now, so he good.
Which
I don't know what his
which one you think he got more percentage on the pro wrestling tees or he got more percentage from WWE? Which
He's
one
probably
do you
This is
think?
like
the check
business.
is probably
No, no.
bigger from WWE.
No.
The percentage
The
I'm saying.
percentage I'm talking about from the sales.
Yeah, because he's bigger than pro wrestling tees. Him as a wrestler right now, he's bigger than pro wrestling tees. So yeah, his percentage probably need to be 60-40. If it is a percentage that's bigger. Yeah, it's AJ fucking Styles, not
AJ Styles
it's
bigger
not
than Bullet Club to
It's
me.
not Dolph Ziggler. It's not James Ellsworth. It's not nobody lower than that. We're talking about AJ. That's what I want you to understand. I'm not discrediting Kenny Omega because he's one of my favorite wrestlers, bro. But we're talking about AJ Styles, bro.
We're talking about business.
Yeah, this is like
Now we back to business. Let's talk about business. He left the Bullet Club to do better business in the
his
WWE.
family.
And they followed him.
Everybody's
followed
going
him.
to follow him.
They followed Kenny.
Gallows, Cole. Everybody's going to go.
AJ opened
as soon
that
as they
door.
get the call and the number right, bro. As soon as the
But-
Bucks get the number,
But
as
you
soon
know
as the
why
Bucks
they-
get
you
the
know why
right
they
number,
did. I told you earlier.
as soon as
They
the
got
Bucks
the
get the right
multi-year
number,
deal.
they will be on their way.
They
They going to
called the
sell
Gun
out like
Bucks
everybody.
already.
No.
Triple
They
H
called
got a
Kenny
call.
Omega
No.
for 1
That ain't what
year.
I said.
Yeah.
As soon as the Bucks get the right number, they're going to be on their way.
They don't
like
they
it
don't
changes for everybody.
No, they don't. They don't like the schedule. They like wrestling less. And they're talking about retiring too. They like wrestling less.
I know
don't want
because
that
I'm a wrestling fan that they one of the best tag teams around right now.
They be in WWE one
If
day.
they was getting signed for
Everybody's
like,
gonna be in there one day.
Yeah, one day. Big
if they're making like 7-8 million a
about
year,
big
bro,
leagues, but-
they're coming, bro. Cause now they don't got to do all this hustle and bustle. They name sell itself. That's what happens when you come to WWE. Your name going to sell yourself, or they going to stamp you,
Or they,
so your name
but
sell itself,
At the
bro.
same token, they made enough money at that point where they can
They
get
built their own name
Exactly.
enough. Exactly.
I got another question.
Exactly.
So how are they making them bigger if they built their own name?
The WWE platform, because it's people who don't know them.
It's like getting to the Super Bowl, not playing your best game.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
No, I
Listen,
don't think
it's
that's a bad
it's a
comparison,
lot of
though.
guys.
It's the
It's a
same
lot
as
of guys.
WrestleMania.
It's a lot of great.
Okay.
You know the you know the
What
basketball.
What event is bigger than WrestleMania?
Super Bowl.
No, wrestling wise now.
Wrestling wise is bigger than WrestleMania. There's nothing bigger.
All right, that's the big leagues then.
Nah.
That's the big leagues right there. That's
Nah.
cut.
What's bigger than the World Series?
Super Bowl.
Why? That's two different things.
No, you
You're
said
looking
what's
at two
bigger.
different platforms.
You said
Depending on who playing, that's what it really is.
Okay.
You mean because if the Cowboys playing the Super Bowl, bro, I'm gonna keep it real with you. God forbid it ever happens. while I'm living.
So you feel like
it's
the
gonna
main
be a
reason
big
why
ass
you feel
Super
like-
Bowl.
The main reason why you feel like Kenny doesn't have more impact or they don't have more impact is because of it didn't happen in WWE.
He ain't been doing it long enough, bro. He ain't been that guy that
Let's
he
just
is
get
right
back to
now
the-
long
He
enough,
need
bro.
it.
He's been the
How you gonna say Chris Jericho the best wrestler of all time and you gonna cut out his WWE career?
What are you talking about?
You can't.
You keep saying Chris Jericho the greatest of all time.
How did I
He
cut out his
made that
WWE career?
WWE.
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you a question. How did I cut out his WWE career?
We gonna cut WWE out
Y2J
now.
originated
We're gonna cut the
in
way to
WWE,
show
bro.
yeah.
Not WCW, not New
platform.
Japan, not Mexico. Y2J.
Okay, let's talk about what he did when he debuted. Okay, so he debuted. He had one of the best debuts all time. After Kane, he went back and forth with The Rock. It was a surprise. He got a pop. Was that one?
I was
was that-
surprised. Chris Jericho was hot when he came over, bro.
waiting for it.
He was that nigga when he left
That was his
WCW.
favorite wrestler. He knew.
That was my favorite
He said
wrestler,
he
bro.
went WWE.
Okay. Did he beat Rock and Austin in the same night?
Yes, he did.
Yep.
Okay. Is he a 9-time IC champion?
Where you getting to?
Is he a Grand Slam?
Where you getting
It's
to?
all WWE.
Where you getting to? Kenny Omega is not over like Chris Jericho.
Never will be. Okay, I'm
didn't say
sorry.
that.
So I'm trying to figure where you getting to. I'm trying to figure you guys.
No, he said that
He mentioned him saying
saying
You
Chris
running
Jericho
his
was the
resume.
greatest
I
of
get
all
it.
time.
Where we getting to? We know Chris Jericho.
Well, he's saying that because he was mentioning him saying Chris Jericho was the greatest of all time. I think that's where he's getting at.
Yeah,
I think we kind of.
He was saying he was telling you why you mentioned
Why?
it.
Yeah, because
You can't not. He's not the GOAT without being in WWE.
Who cares? He goes to Japan. Ric Flair
Okay,
did it.
okay,
Flair did it.
but Kenny did more than Jericho outside of WWE. So
No,
thank you for
no,
making
he
my
went to
point.
WCW.
If Kenny
Oh, my
Omega, if Kenny
goodness.
Omega never
He
comes
was
to
in another big
WWE,
league.
dog. If Kenny Omega never comes to WWE, bro, wrestling fans worldwide ain't never going to respect him, dog. It's
I
not.
disagree.
I mean, respect him as like
Disagree.
legendary all time. Dog, you
Disagree.
gotta come through, bro.
So if Kata doesn't
gotta
get
come
to
through.
go,
A successful person
gotta
to
come
not
through,
go to WWE. That's not legendary status.
You gotta come through.
That's
bro.
not
Name a
legendary.
wrestler.
No.
If you don't wrestle at WrestleMania, yeah, I'm going to say that. If WrestleMania, if you telling me you a top dog and you ain't wrestled at WrestleMania, I can't take you serious.
Sting got it, so we clean.
You can't be a wide receiver and tell me you never played week 1. You can't be in the NBA and tell me you never played an NBA game. You can't be in the NHL. I mean, you can't be a hockey player and never tell me you play in the NHL. Now, baseball a little bit different, but
I don't know. It should be the same.
no, because Cuba could probably beat whatever the best NBA team, MLB team is right now. They could probably beat the All-Star team or it'd be a competitive game.
That'd be competitive. Yeah.
But it's different. But that's in
USA
boxing.
didn't
That's in
always
boxing
win
too.
gold. USA didn't always win gold in the Olympics for basketball.
They usually do though.
Football that's an American sport.
It's an
which is
American
fine.
sport, right?
So what
But what I'm saying is, you can't be and football is the greatest example. You can't tell me you the best wide receiver all time,
You're
and you
talking
ain't
about-
never played for neither one of these 32
But there's
teams.
also nothing. But there's also nothing else that can touch. Like you're saying, like okay, you get it. WWE, they are the biggest company, but don't ignore the fact that there's competition now. Because guess what?
We never ignored the fact.
You love WCW,
We never
right?
ignored the
But
fact.
you love WCW, right?
Yes, I
You're
did.
sitting. So what I'm saying is,
New Japan and Ring of Honor is not as big as WCW.
New Japan is, and I hate to
Ring-
break it to
You're
you.
crazy.
How?
They are
How?
crazy there, and trust
Not
me, they
here.
will.
Not
be
in
there.
America.
Not in America.
Not
Not in America. I don't see it on TV.
You say it's coming. What if it
I
don't?
don't see it on TV.
It's definitely
Turner
coming.
had
Bro,
everything rolling.
this my best example. TNA never took
You know what
over
the difference
when they
is?
was supposed to, bro.
They had the chance.
They was the
had the
closest
chance.
thing that was.
Ring of Honor got the chance
You had
right
the
now.
name,
But what has
you had the
changed?
roster,
But
you
what
had the
has
fan
changed?
base, and it never took
But you know what
over.
They had Kurt Angle, AJ
But
Styles.
guess what? You
Sting.
know what changed? This is what changed the landscape, and this is me being honest. It's what we're doing now. We're sitting here, we're talking on a public forum, we're talking on an internet platform that we can sit there and sell what we're talking about. We can sit here and talk about, hey, listen to us talk about wrestling. Listen to Wrestle Cave on iTunes. The whole landscape of TV deals, the landscape of cable period has changed. So when you actually look at anything, like people don't watch anything no more as far as weekly TV shows. I give WWE credit. I'm not a hater. What I'm saying is they put out weekly television shows. It's working. But you know what else they're actually looking at? They tested out that Facebook Watch for a reason. Because they saw that they can get their product out on demand. And that's why the network has come out with all the pay-per-views, is because of the fact that nobody is really taking these cable deals like they used to. And nobody watches TV like they used to. This is a more of an on-demand environment.
Direct to consumer.
It's the right to direct to consumer.
Look,
So what I'm saying is New Japan.
They went into business with themselves because they big enough.
Well, that's
They
fine.
don't need nobody else because they big
But
enough.
that's not the point I'm making. What the point I'm making is
They
that
don't need the USA Network because they big enough.
That's cool. They don't.
But
But what
the
I'm saying
USA
is, New
Network is their
Japan
partner,
didn't need New Japan didn't need United States cable companies. New Japan didn't need it. They have a TV deal with Access, which is fine. It's not that big.
New
It's not
Japan
that
do
big
need
of a
the
deal.
United States.
They do.
They don't.
They
They
need a
don't
deal.
because
They
you
do.
know
They
why?
need a deal.
You know why we don't? Because what we're doing right
know
now.
why?
Listen to what we're doing right now is proving my point
said
that we
we.
don't.
You hear that, right?
Because we're sitting here talking about it, and guess what? They do not have a U.S. cable deal. They do not have a public forum in the U.S. They
still
have
sell
the
out.
internet.
The only
and they
threat-
still sell out.
The only
everything they
threat
do.
to Vince McMahon and WWE
I'm not talking
came
about
from
threats.
No, I'm talking organization wise. The only threats came from WWE is organizations that had TV deals.
But what I'm
if
saying-
you're not on
This
TV
isn't
on a
about
mainstream
WWE
channel every
dying
week,
off.
if you're not on a mainstream channel every week feeding wrestling, you're not going to
2018,
be
bro.
able to really compete.
It's 2018, bro. You don't.
I'm
you
gonna
don't
be
need
honest
it.
with you. I don't even watch Raw live. I'm tired by
I
that
don't
time
watch
it
Raw
goes
live
on.
neither, but because of the
why
internet.
But why?
I can-
Thank you. That's the point I'm making.
That's because I'm not free at 8 o'clock.
That's what.
Neither am I.
It's live because that's when they shoot
Watch
and they
it on
show. That's the
YouTube,
whole
just
point
like
of
they watch
live.
New Japan
though.
on
That's the
YouTube.
point I'm making.
That's the
When
whole
do you
point of
watch it?
live.
Do they need the USA Network?
Who?
Do you, WWE?
Yes, they do need it.
They needed it once upon a time. They
don't need
partners
it. But
now,
why
bro.
don't they need it? They don't even need it.
Now
more.
it's about the legacy that they the longest running
show.
show.
Like, you ain't
Like that's the
getting-
only reason they
But
win.
you're not
They
even
can
listening
shoot
to
the
the
shit
point
on
I'm
the
making.
network, bro.
What I'm saying is, You're saying that
They
New
don't
Japan-
need
New
it. They
Japan
don't need
need
it.
a
NXT needs the USA Network. Yes,
They don't.
The Raw and SmackDown don't. People will
First
turn
off,
into the network
NXT
for
is an
that.
hour show that doesn't need commercials. It needs to stay where it's
I
at.
feel you, but they'll broaden their
Look
fan
at all
base.
around. But look
They
at
might
all
be able to sell
around.
out
We're
an
sitting
arena.
here talking about they failed on what once. The Brooklyn arena, even though it's not big, that's a big deal. That's a big arena for I don't know what you say, developmental, but it doesn't have to be a big arena. That's still a big enough arena. And boxing events happen in Barclays all the time. Some of the biggest boxing events happen in the Barclays.
No, popular fighters fighting in the Barclays.
70,000.
Not no big fight. Ain't no big fight happening in the Barclays.
Okay.
Popular fighters fighting in the Barclays.
Popular.
Adrian Broner and Danny Garcia, they popular fighters, but they're not selling
I
out the
get what
Barclays.
you're saying, but you understand what I'm saying. They're big enough that they're at an event. They're at a
They're
status.
big enough to be on a card.
Let me say one thing.
they can't sell that
I was
joint
at WrestleCon and Stone Cold was there. Price is similar to Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega blew Stone Cold line out of the water. Kenny Omega was there for 7 hours signing autographs with everybody.
How long Stone Cold was there for?
He wasn't there for 7 hours.
How long Stone Cold? Answer the question.
Maybe like 4.
All right, that's all he need because he cut in. Like, come on, he solidified that.
But my point is,
Kenny
my
with
point is,
Stone Cold now.
no, what I'm
Tony
saying,
got-
I'm not
Tony
saying
got
what
put
I'm.
that work in, bro.
What I'm saying is that's not. Y'all missing.
Disrespectful, man.
I
missing
think you're missing the
a-
point of what I'm
No,
saying.
I-
He
Right.
goating Kenny right now. I can't goat him right now.
I'm not goating anyone.
He's
What
goating
is
him.
Disrespectful. You are
When he
very
mentioned Kenny, he
disrespectful
mentioned
there,
Kenny's
man.
with the greatest names ever. Not the
You're
niggas that's
crazy.
with Kenny's.
I never, we never did him. I never said he was top 5
This
all
is where
time.
Kenny's equal
compare
at in
AJ
WWE.
Styles.
I don't judge no one until their career is done.
Kenny is still.
Did I ever say he was
In
in my top 5 all
WWE, Kenny
time?
is equal to, like it or not, and you're going to probably hate me. You're going to look at me crazy. He's equal or less than Dolph Ziggler right now. That's just
I'm not
reality
gonna
of
argue
it,
with that,
though.
but
That's
what I'm
crazy.
saying is I don't judge no one. I'm not giving no one gold status until their career is done. I'm sorry, that's just the way. That's the realistic of things.
They
And
make
that's
it
the
seem
way
like
I
he's
do things.
untouchable because it didn't happen in WWE.
Yo,
And I can't do
Kenny
that.
is either in the beginning or the middle of his prime right now. You giving him top-notch credentials
How?
because
We're talking
he's
about
making
more
moves.
impact.
He was talking
And we're
about
talking
impact
about-
as far
Yeah,
as.
because he's making
But what are we
moves.
talking?
But
I
none
never
of these
said top
moves
5.
come-
Never
none
said
of
he
these
was in my
moves
top
coming
5.
through yet. Like, he's telling me, you got to wait till June 9th.
You're making
when
me
the
feel like
heavyweight
Jacob
championship.
Porter in regards to what we were talking about,
No,
like-
that's everything he talking about. We talking about, like,
we're talking about-
future moves and
Bro.
look what he did for the,
I never said he was in my top 5 all time. I never said he was on my.
Ain't nobody talking what Kenny did. Y'all heard more about Cody, more about AJ,
I ain't talking
more
about
about the
Cody
Bucks.
did.
They're a part of the elite. They're a part of his
We ain't talking
fucking
about the
Bullet Club. He's the leader.
You said Kenny
They're a part-
Omega
all that impact is a
over
part of it.
AJ Styles. That is your hashtag. Your hashtag isn't the elite is over AJ Styles or Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and
However you
everybody
wanna-
that got to
however
do with the
you- however you
leaders.
wanna paint it.
You said
However
Kenny
you wanna paint it.
Omega is over AJ
my
Styles,
preference.
and I don't got
And
no
I-
facts.
and I spent
And
the
that's your
last.
reference, and you know what? This is what I'll say. I said I'm gonna stick to what I said from the beginning, and what I stick to when I talked to y'all on the group or whatever the chat that they were doing. I said Kenny Omega was the more influential leader for Bullet Club. He did more things for the international part of wrestling than any of the other leaders for Bullet Club. I'm not gonna sit there and say because AJ is one of my favorite wrestlers. I'm not gonna sit there and say he's better or bigger. What
I
I'm
agree
saying
with
is,
you.
but what I'm saying is, you have to actually look at the point that we're trying to make when you're saying influences on a product. When you're saying influences as far as, and yes, I mean,
It's not my
you're
fault if
talking-
somebody can't translate your words to it like that. But it's just like when I'm getting it, it's
Yeah.
not coming off as for the building that he's doing and the future that he's creating. He's giving it up to me, like this motherfucker Kenny Omega.
But the same way
It's
you're
over
passionate,
AJ Styles.
Maybe he's telling you to say, "Yo, please appreciate what I'm trying to show you."
no.
As far
I
as,
appreciate.
Oh, the question was.
He hasn't had this conversation with Black yet.
The question
He know
is-
I appreciate Kenny Omega.
I appreciate AJ. I think AJ is gold status.
But
this podcast is like tearing my heart because I love AJ, and it's
No, the
making me
question
go
was-
against
was-
him.
bro.
Who's the most influential leader in Bullet Club?
yeah.
I thought that was the question.
I told you I wasn't in that conversation.
reason-
but
the
it
reason-
sounds like y'all saying Kenny Omega is a better wrestler.
How?
No,
I was arguing.
Most of my argument
We
is
just
shit
had a
that has
conversation
nothing to
now.
do with in ring. That's
I
most of my
wasn't gonna
argument.
No, Kenny
How did
Omega
you
can
say
beat
that?
the Bullet Club, but
How
he
did I even- I
and
didn't say
Styles
the
better than
words.
the Bullet Club though.
I think everything is like words. You gotta listen to the words. I'm not sitting there saying I never once said Kenny is better than AJ. I never said this. Wrestling is a matter of
did,
opinion.
not
I did
you.
not. I said on this
He
show
did. What I'm
earlier.
telling you.
I
His
said he's
hashtag
not
is
better
Kenny
than
over
him.
AJ.
He's on the same
I'm
level.
trying to figure out-
His
no,
hashtag is
He's not
Kenny
better
over
than him.
AJ.
He's on the same
as
level.
a leader,
Did not say that.
as a leader, not
I'm talking
wrestling.
about in ring also.
No.
I think he's on the same level with him
No,
in ring.
no.
That's
Yeah,
my opinion.
But that's a matter of opinion, and it's
No. That's a whole
I
different
said
question.
that
another
That's a whole
argument.
different
30
question.
minutes ago.
That's all.
he's not. He's not.
People
That's
are
why I
remembered as great
disagree with you.
wrestlers because of what they can do in the ring, like Benoit's, Malenko's, Guerrero's, like because of what they do in the ring, not because of their character. That's why they classify great wrestlers. Kenny Omega is definitely classified a great wrestler because of what he can do in the ring.
And charismatically, I choose Kenny
But
over AJ. Charismatically,
amongst
Your man don't got no championships. He ain't a world champion. He's not a world champion wherever he been at. So there's no point.
Like that matters.
That matters.
Championship matters.
Come on, that's bull.
The Cowboys got 5 rings, and now you talking about no rings.
Bull,
This is the type of shit we gonna
Take the feelings out of this shit.
So hear me out. So I'm gonna ask you this question. You watch boxing?
Yes.
All right. So, is it a bad thing that I say that Floyd is like one of my favorite fighters?
No, it's not.
Okay,
He's
so-
one of the greatest of all time.
So are you mad? Does Floyd suck because he
he
wasn't? Oh, can I finish? I just said he was my favorite fighter. You're acting like I
But you
said.
said, was he suck?
No, I said
don't
does,
think he
I
suck
said does he suck? Does he suck
No.
because he never won the heavyweight championship?
No.
Okay, wait.
That's
Let's
a
answer the
dumb
question. That's a yes or
question,
no. It's
guys.
not. No, I'm gonna get
dumb
around.
Time out. All right.
That's a
So
dumb
that's
question.
that's a yes or no.
That's a dumb
Please
question.
do yes or no so I can get around.
No,
top
No,
That's a
five.
dumb
I'm not
question.
answering that because
It's
it
a
sounds
different weight
it
class?
sounds like a set. Yeah, that's exactly why. It's exactly why. But this wrestling and boxing is 2 different things,
You
bro.
compare him to Rey Mysterio Jr.
No,
Yeah, that's where it sounds like you're going.
No,
That's where it sounds like
no, because
because
the
boxing
environment keeps
boxing is a
You're
sport.
not gonna let me get
No,
off
boxing
point on
is a
that.
sport of
I'm about to
hands,
get
not
That's
weight.
retarded, bro.
Boxing is a sport of hands, not weight.
That's accident because Floyd beat Muhammad Ali.
No,
That's
but
what
I'm
you're
saying
asking
is,
right
no,
now.
this is what I'm telling you to look. You got to look at it from a standpoint because in New Japan, the way it's built is by weight class. So if you win the bigger belt from a weight class standpoint, did you know Finn Balor wasn't a heavyweight when he started out? No, and guess
Shawn
what?
Michaels
Kenny.
wasn't either.
Kenny wasn't either.
What? Listen.
Chris Jericho wasn't either.
Okay, cool.
Keep going.
That's going. But the point
Oh,
is,
my goodness.
he hasn't won the world heavyweight title. He hasn't won the
Nowhere he's
heavyweight
been at.
position yet. Right? Am I wrong? How long did it take Shawn Michaels to win that?
What are we getting to?
He was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. He represented that division. That is a big division as far as a light heavyweight goes.
Brother. AJ Styles won the belt as soon as he got there.
He was a heavyweight right there.
They the same weight.
What the hell is it?
He wasn't
He
heavyweight
he
at the
wasn't
time.
at that weight at that
He
time.
still ain't won the belt, and it's 2 years later.
AJ Styles
4
was
years
the
later,
heavyweight you
excuse
would
me.
compare him to.
4 years later since
I'm not
since
comparing.
AJ won the
I'm
belt.
not
What I'm saying
comparing.
is,
You're
what I'm
missing the
saying,
point.
no.
Because what I'm saying
No.
He
What I'm
won the
saying-
biggest belt at
what
a
I'm
weight
saying
class,
is-
and now that he
what I'm
moved
saying
up,
is-
he's
what I'm
won
saying
the
is,
secondary,
don't
he's won the
discredit,
third. They
don't
created the belt
don't
before he
discredit
created the
AJ
belt.
Styles for one of your favorites.
He didn't
That's
discredit
what I'm
him.
saying. No,
And that's
not
his
you.
favorite
Not
wrestler.
you.
I didn't
You the
discredit
one-
him.
He's not comparing.
I didn't discredit
He's not
him.
comparing
Can he
AJ
make his
Styles.
point?
He's
If
not
they
comparing
address
AJ.
me. Can he make his point? Then address me.
So this is what I'm saying. Yes, he didn't win it yet, but you know what? And just like we talked about earlier, I said New Japan storylines are not something that turns around in a 6 month, not even a 6 month time frame. These things build up over time to make the thing that everything.
I watch
bigger.
New Japan though.
But that's what I'm telling you. Everyone that watches New Japan should know. I'm talking to the people that watch New Japan because they know. Somebody that doesn't watch it doesn't need to know what I'm saying because they don't watch it. So what's the point?
But you
won
compare
the
the
junior
WWE
heavyweight.
like
No.
it's not
All
running
right,
every
all right.
week.
I think the disconnect is to understand. This whole stem come from this. He really believes Kenny Omega is over AJ Styles.
Well, if that's his
Where
opinion,
is
not
that?
facts.
That's this.
So the
Me
subject of
and you coming here
Cutting the fuck
ain't
up.
got nothing to do with ain't got nothing to do with what these people wanted to hear. These people want to know why hashtag Kenny over AJ. They want to know
I
why.
told you I like Kenny.
I ain't talking to him. I'm talking to him.
So why
This
are
was
you
supposed to
saying
be
that? I
about
don't
Black
get
and Ace.
I explained. And y'all,
I
you
said
play
that
music while
listen,
explaining.
I said
Bro,
that earlier in the
You
show.
play music. Talk about can y'all come in.
Where I still ain't getting no fact to why he's
get a
over
fact
AJ
yet.
Styles.
Not yet.
I was explaining
All
why
I
you're
hear,
on YouTube.
all I hear
Because I wasn't here
is,
for that.
it seemed like what I got was
Debate is
where the
who
Bullet
leader.
Club is
The leader.
going, where
That's
the
the only-
elite is going.
That's the only debate you give
You know,
AJ and Kenny Omega.
It sounds
It's
like
the leader.
we want y'all to know that
Wrestle is not.
there's
It's not.
a
It's about championships. Wherever.
there's
not
a
about
competition
champions.
on
It
the
is about
horizon.
championships.
We
not
know
about
all of this.
16 times Ric Flair. Come the fuck. Come
listen,
on.
listen,
Oh my goodness.
We know that.
You don't
We
know
know all of
wrestling,
this.
Ace. You don't know wrestling.
I don't know why people think we just don't
I
pay
mean,
attention
based
to
on
this
his,
shit.
based on what he just said.
16 times. Come
Yeah.
on. Everybody is measured up to Ric Flair right now.
Yeah. Ricky
I'm telling you
Ricky
now.
the Dragon shouldn't be a Hall of Famer.
Well, he shouldn't.
No.
You crazy.
You just said that he didn't win a championship.
He won a world title WCW.
He won the WCW
Oh,
belt.
no.
Now
He
he owns
the WWE.
Big
the
league.
NWA belt. The
Big
gold
leagues.
belt. The gold belt
You got a
matters.
point,
The
right?
gold belt matters, bro.
Thank you.
The gold belt
I
matters.
said that just to prove my point.
The gold belt
What point
matters.
you prove?
Because I just sat there and told you. You sat there and said, heavyweight, we talking championships. He never won a WWE title.
Who?
He never won nothing past the Intercontinental.
But he got a WrestleMania moment. Something that you
Wrestling
don't
for
have.
what?
Time out. No. Ricky Dragon Steamboat is not a WWF guy nor a WCW guy. So you can't really classify him.
He's a territory
He's a
star.
territory guy. He's a territory
No
superstar.
territories.
And don't act like
Is
he
he a
not, bro.
WWE Hall of Famer?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
Sting's a
Because
Hall of
Vince
Famer.
owns every territory.
Is Kid Rock not a fucking Hall of Famer?
He's in the celebrity ring.
But what I'm saying,
You
so
watch
this is what I'm
WrestleMania?
telling you. He just said that. Again, I'm just going off of the facts here. You said if we're talking championships, Ric Flair is the measuring stick. Blah 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 blah. Okay, cool. Well,
Ric Flair is not a WWE guy. He's under WWE. He's not a WWE guy, and everybody's measured to him. So I can't.
All that matters. Then why are we talking about Ric Flair?
Because Ric Flair did his time in
Because Vince
WWE.
McMahon knew it mattered, and he went and got him.
And he knows it
He
matters.
went and got Ric Flair. He went and got Ric Flair.
They try to get Kenny 5 different times. And
Who
he
won a
just won't
WWE
go.
But
championship?
you gotta understand. WCW method and WWE method. WCW method is more like Ring of Honor, New Japan. When it comes to how they wrestle, how they book shows, where they book shows, smaller venues, style of wrestling.
You the guys who give Vince McMahon gray hairs.
It's in more similarity. It's just like
You guys give Vince McMahon
it's
gray
like,
hairs.
come on, y'all.
I'm
We
not
know this.
satisfied.
We know this.
No, you're not because
I am satisfied.
You based off. I just went off of what you said because
Can I ask this?
that messed me up because when you sat there and said it all about heavyweight championships.
No,
all
I
about
think
this,
I said-
that's what you said. That was
It's
quote
championships,
unquote.
though. It's
Championships. He's talking about championships.
I'm talking championships.
My argument was
Title in
never
his hand.
based on
I mean,
just
in his life.
championships.
He had it in his life. He got the world
It was
championship.
never based on just
He said
championships. That's
based on
never been my
heavyweight
argument.
Ain't no weight limit to that belt.
Exactly. CM Punk.
Ain't no weight limit to that
Come
belt.
on.
That's why the
Oh
structure
my
and the landscape
goodness.
is different.
Yo, you know.
But if
The
you
players
are
and
not a
athletes
world
again.
champion,
You're not a world
He is
champion.
a world. If you're an
You're not a world
IWGP
champion.
junior heavyweight champion, you are the world
And
champion.
IC
that is
champion.
not the guy
And
in the
IC
company.
Do you
champion.
know what IWGP
They made a
stands
belt
for?
for him too.
International something.
Wrestling Grand Prix.
All right, whatever.
So basically, what that's
Ho,
told
ho,
you is it's for
ho.
the International
I got a
Wrestling
question.
Grand
I got a
Prix
question.
junior
Bro,
heavyweight.
I got a question. Is that belt over the world title?
That
Yes
is
or
the
no?
world
Is
title
the
for
IC
junior
title
heavyweights.
over
What
that
are you
belt?
talking about?
Is the IC title over that belt?
Hell no.
But
No.
I answer for you.
No,
So
no,
wait,
no.
hell
It's
no.
not.
But
It's
that's
not.
cool.
It's not.
Crazy.
It's not.
But wait, is there an IWGP Intercontinental title?
It's the second belt.
Kenny got
Thank
that.
you. So, and if you win the biggest belt in your weight class in New Japan, then you are that guy for
Don't
that weight class.
compare him to AJ Styles.
AJ Styles
heavyweight
won
champion,
the
right?
big belt. You
was
sit up here
heavyweight
trying to tell me AJ Styles didn't win Intercontinental title. So
No, he didn't.
who
No,
gives
I
a
didn't.
god?
Two-time WWE champion. He
All
won
right, so
every
again.
belt in TNA.
But I'm not saying
He went to New Japan and won the world title. It came to WWE. He said, I don't need
So
New Japan no
you're
more.
going sideways.
I'm
with
not
it
going
because
sideways. I'm going
just
straight,
saying, I'm going
man.
what you said.
I'm going
I
straight.
brought a Ricky the Dragon because
These
I know
public
y'all love
defenders
him.
is gonna get somebody's
Semantics,
book.
bro. That's what I'm doing, man.
Because y'all
These
make-
public
y'all-
defenders gonna get somebody's
I
Yeah,
book.
screamed a little bit after the
Semantics,
Ricky the
man.
Dragon comment like I hate
No,
that.
but
What
bro,
I'm saying
no,
is-
because I'm a Ricky Dragon.
You disrespect the Ricky Dragon, Steve.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
disrespect, you disrespect
Yes.
him.
Yes.
If I got
Yes.
that toy right
Chris.
there signed by Ric Flair, guess who was sitting next to Ric Flair? Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
He one of the
Ricky
greatest
Dragon.
all time,
He
bro.
was right next to him.
Why are
dog.
you
That was-
telling me things I know?
You just said he didn't win a world champion. He won a world champion.
dog.
But no.
And he was an NWA
Okay,
champion.
He won it 5 times.
That's
What
what
he said.
I'm talking about what he said. See, you're mad. You're the
But he won it.
Hey, see,
He
look,
won it
look,
versus Ric Flair.
in WWE.
WCW.
But that's the big. It's not the big leagues.
It is the big leagues.
That's where the big boys play, not the big leagues.
Then we
That's
said
the second
the
place.
most competition.
Joe,
He said,
Joe,
He said.
Joe,
No,
no, shut up, shut up, shut up, no, talk to me, Joe. This
get him.
partner's out of this one. This me and you.
He said,
Are you going to sit here
I'm just saying.
and tell me
Tom.
WCW was not number 2 to WWE?
Okay.
Cost number 1.
And what? You're not going to tell me that they didn't almost take over?
Almost only counts in horseshoes.
Oh my God, they was like a week off.
Oh shit.
They were a week off.
Did you watch it?
A week off.
I watch
A
wrestling.
week
It's not
off.
in it.
You know like I
you
know.
know it. You
You
know
know
it.
like I know.
But wait,
There was a
but that's
week
the
off
point.
from dethroning these motherfuckers.
They were, but guess what? But did they do it?
You're right.
LeBron
You're
lost
right.
last night.
That's right.
No,
That's
he
why
could've
you gotta
lost.
respect the king at the end of the day, bro.
Don't disrespect LeBron again.
You gotta respect the king
on,
at the end of the day,
that's
bro.
Thank you.
WWE is the king, bro.
I'm not disrespecting WWE.
You are.
All I said was,
are.
you're going off.
I
of
am
points
a
that I'm not
WWE
even trying to
Listen,
make,
bro. He
So
put
you're talking
you
to me.
here to talk to us. You gonna catch his ass.
You gonna catch this.
Well,
You
you
gotta
gotta
get
open my catching. I'm just saying. Y'all sat there and said WCW.
No,
his words.
Y'all said
I'm
his
saying
words are
yes.
WWE
His
don't
words.
matter.
Your client,
WWE is
excuse
the
me,
big.
I know,
Mr.
WWE is
Mr.
the
Joe,
big leagues.
It's the big
Mr.
league,
Joe,
right?
your
You're
client
saying
didn't
it for me,
explain to you
yeah,
the
that's
what he
scenario.
said.
here.
So again, you're saying WWE is the big leagues.
Yes.
Didn't
Yes,
happen. If
yes,
you didn't win
yes.
it in WWE, don't
It
matter.
don't matter.
So
You know
that's
what Ric
Ricky the
Flair
Dragon
told Sting?
Steamboat.
matter.
You know what Ric Flair told Sting?
And I
That's
don't
what
mean
You
that.
know what Ric Flair
Time out,
told
time
Sting?
out, time out, time out.
Ric
Hold
Flair
on.
told Sting, the only thing you did wrong with your career You didn't go sign the Vince.
Everybody tells Sting that. What's the
But
point?
he did though. He a Hall of Famer. And guess what?
You see what he did?
He's
You
a
see what
Hall of
he
Famer.
did? He
And guess what?
solidified
When you say
his
WCW,
chapter
I'm glad
and
he
closed
did.
his book, bro.
But you know why? Because
He wanted the
He should have
greatest.
been there.
Because he wanted the greatest.
And because it was so close.
'Cause
to
he wanted the
happening.
greatest.
But that's apples and oranges because he was so close to already being there. That Undertaker promo, everyone knows with the bat and everything, that was supposed to be for Sting until he denied the contract. Everyone knows that.
It's okay.
So again, you were so
Like,
close.
Vince McMahon signed him.
I'm
And guess
glad
what?
he did.
And guess what?
It was just
In
more proof to the
WCW,
pudding
look,
that even Sting
ECW,
gotta come over.
I think you
That's
guys-
why
you
AJ
guys
Styles
go
is
back
here.
and forth
Because
about the
even
wrong thing.
Sting gotta come over.
All I said was that
He went and worked with AJ Styles before he came and worked with Vince. But even Sting had to come over.
But wait, all
Even
I said
Kenny
was-
Omega
Had to
was
come
just trying to
over.
go
when
off the
Kenny
point.
Omega comes over and he one wing angel AJ Styles at WrestleMania, how I pray to God that it happens one day. Then he'll be solidified.
my
But he
point-
not.
But wait, my point
He
is
is
that
in the beginning of the prime of his career, and for the next 10 to 15 years, he's going to be building that
He's a good
legacy,
wrestler.
bro.
That's good.
He's a
He's
good
going to be building
wrestler.
that
Don't
legacy.
sit there
But
and
he
say
ain't one of the
that all
goats.
that matters.
Over
Don't
here.
sit there and say
I don't
all
want to
that.
hear Kenny
I was
Omega.
just-
I don't want to hear
going off
Kenny
of the
name
big
next
leagues.
to.
I was just going off the big
I
league
don't
comment.
like that.
I was going
It's
off the
okay.
logic.
Kenny-
I was
it's
going
okay.
off
Kenny
the
not
big
over.
league.
Kenny not over
okay.
Kevin Owens.
I'm not arguing about who's over.
He's
Not the-
it's
not the
because of
J
where they
stats
at.
don't
If you
matter.
want to consider where they
It's
at, it's because of where they at.
Well, we're talking. All right, so the original
When
subject was
Kevin Owens
the
came up to
Bullet Club.
NXT,
More impact, more impact.
when Kevin Owens came up to NXT with the belt and was going at it with Cena, what non-WWE guy was bigger than Kevin Owens prior to that?
That's
Just
not
so
the
you know,
argument.
Kevin Owens
Prior
was
to
the
that.
NXT
I
champion.
seen it.
I didn't know. You said you didn't watch NXT. I didn't know.
No.
I was just letting you know he beat Cena.
It's nothing on NXT for him right now. That's why.
I'm messing with you.
I see it. I see what Kevin Owens developed when he knocked that Sammy Guy's character out. And then it was over.
That's cool. They've been doing it for years.
To
but
answer,
okay.
to answer,
It mattered in WWE now. That's your problem, dog.
Well,
You
the
gotta
story
be
is
serious.
bigger because
Yes,
it's going
yeah,
on.
he's
every,
here now.
but
He
it
did
happened
it
every
again
week.
on the
He
biggest
here
stage.
on the biggest
It get
stage.
bigger and
I
bigger every
didn't
level,
see
bro.
it.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen on the biggest stage.
Bro, if
Because the
Sami
biggest stage
Zayn
is
and
major,
El
right?
Generico have a big match at WrestleMania, it's gonna be bigger than all they matches on Ring of Honor.
It will.
All they matches on
Dream
nowhere.
match, it happened
bro,
at WrestleMania.
because it
What are
happened
you
at
talking about?
WrestleMania,
But that's
bro.
what- I never said that. I agree.
Make sure you tell your client that.
bro,
WWE
Kenny,
defenders.
Kenny is over AJ as far as impact is concerned because of things that happen not only just in the ring, outside of the ring.
Crazy.
It's always been my point. But y'all like to just continue.
Semantics, bro.
What other point were you trying to get
Listen.
to before they cut you off like a
AJ
thousand
Styles.
times?
Remember, like, yeah.
AJ Styles.
We let you talk.
For non-WWE guys, AJ Styles has showed you if you work hard and sign on the dotted line
You
when
can
you're
get there.
supposed
You
to,
can make it one day.
you'll get it one
Get your
day.
WrestleMania
All right?
moment.
Everybody's
Stop trying
not
to fight
AJ
the system,
Styles.
all right?
Everybody's not AJ
We fighting the
Styles.
wrong
Kenny Omega's
system.
not AJ
Fight the
Styles.
right system. Fuck the government. Stop fighting Vince. All right. Let's
Fight
get
the
with it.
government.
What was your point? What was your point that you probably forgot?
I probably did forget. I mean, I don't know. I thought I was here for like a Bullet Club leadership debate.
No, you wasn't coming here for that, brother.
But I mean, I appreciate when I came here. We had some good talks.
Talk you
here.
want to take in this case, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, there ain't no case I took. I just
know.
said I proved my points that I
I
had
know
to
you.
make.
I know where you would have stood in this conversation.
I proved my points that I had to make. And I mean, just to your credit, I love AJ. And again, just to go off of what the Bullet Club thing I was talking about, just to retract, he was great in Bullet Club leader. He was for the year he did it. Even though he was in there for 2 years, he was the leader of Bullet Club for a year in New Japan. Machine Gun was the leader. AJ put on classics. Not a lot of classics that people don't even talk about that AJ Styles
Hold
did.
on. The phenomenal AJ. Let's get it right. The phenomenal
You know,
AJ Styles.
you gonna make it seem like I'm not.
Phenomenal. Get it right.
Phenomenal
Get it right.
AJ Styles.
All
All right.
right.
Once again, continue,
right.
please. So,
I mean, you guys gotta check out. You check out the fight with. You gotta just compare, like, if you compare bigger rivalries in New Japan as far as the impact as Bullet Club went, AJ's biggest fight in New Japan, in my opinion, and again, it wasn't even for the belt. It was just him wrestling Kota Ibushi in the best of 3 series. That was
That
one of,
bigger than John Cena?
I'm not sure where that came from
Is,
or what
is
the
that
point
match
was.
bigger than John Cena? That's the
So
question.
again, I'll get to that.
Oh,
but let
see?
me prove my
We're
original
playing
point.
semantics,
I
Roddy.
answer for
I'm going against
It
AJ.
wasn't.
Go ahead, Roddy.
Kenny.
Go ahead,
It
Roddy
wasn't.
Jackson.
Kate,
You go ahead.
all right, continue.
Can I continue? Because I'll get to that match.
He's scared, man.
My grandma a
Shit.
lifelong wrestling fan.
So
She
y'all
don't know
gonna let
who
me be
Bushi
honest?
is.
Or y'all gonna-
My grandma a member of the group.
So
She
wait,
don't know who
can I
Bushi
Talk
finish?
about that
is.
John
So
Cena.
you talk about the Ninja when he was in Bullet Club.
My grandma said, FaceTime me at Raw with John Cena. When Roman Reigns come out.
All right.
Sorry to hear that.
Who is
But,
Ibushi?
All right.
but wait, AJ's match with Kota Ibushi was one of the best.
Can't cut a
One of
promo
the best
over here,
classics.
man.
Gordon
But
Lever.
it's
That's
cut
the
press
partner,
conferences
right?
just because you don't understand the language. Subtitles sometimes.
Hey, I
keep
don't
words.
understand a lot of language. It ain't my fault.
So you go off. You watch him and Ibushi. Kenny's best of 3 was with Okada, and which in turn that led to more bigger time frame because again, most people say that Kenny versus Okada was the best wrestling match they ever seen.
Arguably.
Arguably. I said some people.
No, I'm saying for
So
me.
keywords.
I'm agreeing.
Okay,
I'm
so
agreeing.
what I'm
Arguably,
saying
one of the
is
best matches I've ever seen.
that impacted where people went to YouTube, because when you hear things like that is the greatest thing I've ever seen. That impacts on what you're seeing. So I think that as far as a Bullet Club leader, Kenny has done more for Bullet Club. And just to get to the point, so that way I won't be cut off or I won't say nothing. AJ Styles versus John Cena was one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. They kept it inside the ring. They never went outside once. It was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
Mattered too, man. Damn sure mattered.
And it mattered.
I don't want AJ Styles.
I just don't understand the fact that AJ Styles
Y'all
brought the
should've
belt
tuned in.
home
It's
to the
a-
Bullet Club twice.
Backlash tonight.
That's not enough for the motherfuckers. The fact that he brought the big belt home twice, the whole family got every belt in the world twice. That's not enough. Bullet Club still struggling. Not struggling.
But
They had to rebrand.
arguably,
They had to
arguably,
I got a question. I got another
he's
question.
going
for you.
against.
I got another
Kenny
question.
is going against Okada, which is probably he's on one of the most dominant championship runs I've ever seen in wrestling history. Period. He is dominant. He is entertaining.
It's clear that New Japan realizes if you got the name, you could win the belt. Kenny ain't got the name.
No, it's clear that they don't want it. First
It's
off,
not in ring. It's
when you
clearly
book
the
things,
name.
right? No, when you
It's
book
clearly
things,
the
you book
name.
it clearly. Because guess what? You're gonna when it comes around. Does it come around June 9th? I don't know. Will it come around?
Just gotta wait.
But
Still
wait,
gotta
will
wait,
it come around maybe at All In? Will it come around on the next USA show? I really don't know. But when the boyhood dream does come true, I'm just going to use that term because I only use it because you would understand
I
it.
said it earlier. Yeah.
That's the only way he would understand it, but
That's the
it's
only way
going
it's
to be a
happening
big
right now.
moment. And I really agree
And when
with
it
the fact
happens,
that big
and this
moments
is what I'm
happen.
gonna tell you when it happens,
Because
just so
I
you
was
can prepare the argument now.
But I was mad because Naito
AJ did it twice.
because I was mad with Naito. I was mad when Naito didn't beat Okada, but then I understood what they were doing. I'm a Naito fan because, again, Okada's just one of the greatest champions you've ever seen. He
times does
carries
Japan
himself.
come
He
on?
walks around. It comes on a lot.
How many times? Every week? 2 times a week? 3
No,
times?
it actually doesn't come on that often. They don't need
That's
to.
why you tune in too much, man. That's why WWE come on every Monday and Tuesday. You get tired.
That's not our
sometimes.
fault.
It's not. They get
But that's
Monday.
not proving no
It's a
point.
fact. That's a fact.
These are live events.
That's
and
why
they do different things.
They are live events. You just skip
But you know
from
what?
time to
But they
time.
don't do it just because they can. They do it because, again, they
do
believe
that 'cause they
it's
can.
an athletic. It's a different style. It's
They
a
do
more.
that 'cause they
It's a
can.
more physical style. So
No,
you
so
gotta
they
get the
do that
rest
because
in.
they can. That's his events.
Go back to your point.
So back to the point I was making. If you
Yes,
guys, you're
yes.
going. AJ wasn't going nowhere near against the competition that Kenny is going against. Right now,
He went against Brock
in New
Lesnar.
Japan. In New Japan. Whoa, calm down.
Oh, we got.
I'm just trying not to cut nobody off.
Yeah,
God
it's-
damn.
Yeah,
it's
so
okay.
in New Japan, AJ was not going
To my
against
friends
the
out there
Okadas.
listening, I'm sorry, man.
So yeah.
Sorry too.
So AJ going against. So do me a favor.
Some people might
Name
agree
all
with
the
me with
AJ
this.
Styles feuds that you saw in New Japan that were bigger than Kenny feuds. I'll wait.
I haven't.
Okay.
I seen him beat Okada.
Good. I'm good.
And then I seen the second. I seen the second match.
So-
Listen, all my Bullet Club info.
That's
Not
not
info,
even
but
Bullet Club.
no,
That's
listen.
New
I mean,
Japan
not Bullet
I'm
Club.
talking. This is
Because
bigger.
when I say AJ Styles in New Japan, he Bullet Club. That's just like, but like that's how I found out about the Bullet Club is through
Okay.
AJ Styles.
Styles.
But what I'm saying
It's
is
through
that
AJ
what happened
Styles.
to his other matches that you're saying that he's so big time.
Next thing I know,
Why
he's
don't
the
you remember?
champion,
If he was so
But
big
look,
time
it's
in
the
New
same
Japan,
thing.
why
It's
don't you
the
remember
same
his other
thing
matches in it?
for Kenny Omega with me. Like I see him in more 6-man tags matches that I like than I did 1-on-1 matches. You take out John Cena from AJ Styles' resume, and you take out take out
Have you
Okada
seen-
from
have you
Kenny's
seen
resume.
Kenny Omega versus Ishii. Have you
Is
seen
that
Kenny Omega
Ishii
versus
is Ibushi,
Goto?
right?
No.
Is that Ibushi?
Nope. So
No,
again,
alright,
so you don't know what I'm saying. You can't
I
really
don't want to
judge.
sound.
How can you judge?
No, all right, listen, because you challenge. All right, let me tell you something. You challenging me in a way that I don't want to sound politically incorrect and say that all these people look and sound alike to me, but like.
But no, what I'm saying is different people. Did you
But
see him wrestle
who-
Goto
this is
at
my
the
thing,
G1
this is my
final?
thing.
Did you see him wrestle Naito?
Amongst heavyweights, amongst great wrestlers, who are these people?
They are great wrestlers.
Amongst your 10 greatest wrestlers, who is these people?
But we're talking right now, right?
No, we're talking about wrestling.
We're talking about wrestling.
Y'all, you can't change
Like
the
I've seen a
timeline.
lot
keep
of
saying
no. That's like me naming a bunch of great matches that I've seen. I've seen a bunch of great matches
And I
versus
bet you I
people
seen
that
them.
who are they? I've seen better heavyweight matches and pay-per-view matches. I'm not coming up here to talk
Me and
about what
Ryan
happened on Raw and
depend on better matches than
SmackDown.
certain
But what I'm
people,
telling you is we're comparing their time in New Japan. We're comparing their Bullet Club time. So what I'm asking you is if you actually look at the feuds that both of them have done in their time as Bullet Club leaders, then you would actually notice and
If
appreciate
you don't
what Kenny
impact the
actually
wrestling
did.
community, it's not an impact.
It
I don't
isn't.
feel like
They
I
impact
gotta
the
watch
community.
week to week to feel an impact. An impact is going to happen. I didn't always know Kenny Omega. His match with Okada made me go back and find out who the fuck Kenny Omega was.
But that's the
AJ
point.
Styles
That's what
for 10
everybody.
years.
I told this motherfucker, I said,
I know
yo,
they did that for 10 years, man. We on a decade now, man.
yeah, man, it's like you can't just talk about every little match. Like
Yeah.
he's a good wrestler. He put on good matches.
but you
so
said-
does Dolph
but no,
Ziggler.
but you made
So
the
does
question.
AJ Styles,
Chad
you
Gable.
asked the
He put on
question.
good matches in
Greatest
every
of all
match.
time.
You asked
But
the question, what has he done outside of the fuse with Okada, than the feud with Okada? You
And
asked that
I'm
question.
saying-
He's
yeah.
trying to
Ain't
tell
none
you.
of them as
And
big
you're
as
cutting
that.
him off.
Ain't none of them as big as
not
that.
big.
His next biggest thing is that is going on with Cody right now.
And Chris Jericho.
And Chris Jericho. Shit that's going on over here, bro.
That's three different feuds.
That's three
He won a
different
title
feuds.
off
All
of that one
WWE
person.
shit.
All WWE.
All WWE
When you
shit.
say wrestling, you
That's only
mention
because you
WWE. We gotta
recognize
get
like-
it. You don't recognize his feud with Tanahashi. You don't recognize his feud with Ishii.
Wrestling-
They had one of the best feuds that you ever
Michael
seen.
Elgin.
And just because, even Michael Elgin, just because they don't do it on a week-to-week basis,
That's
and
it.
just because the story isn't
I
told
think-
on a week-to-week
I think
basis,
I'm good enough. I think I follow enough wrestling that if it's good enough, I'm gonna go back and watch. And I
you
watch a
should
lot
go
of
back
shit.
and watch it.
You should
I
go
will
watch
send
it.
you-
I
I will
watch
send
shit.
you all the matches to watch.
I watch a lot of shit, but ain't none of them as impactful or as good. I flip my fucking tongue. But Kenny fucking Mega and Okada.
Nothing is,
none
I
of them
never
is
said
that
nothing was
good.
bigger. What I'm saying is
None of
he's
them
done
is that
things
good.
outside
None
of
of them is
that.
worth me going back and
But
checking
he's done
what his
things
history
outside
is
of
like.
that. But he's done things
Like if you
outside of
don't,
that.
I'm telling you right now because you don't
He
know
was a
Kenny
junior
Omega
heavyweight
like
champion.
that. You need to go back
IC
and watch
champion.
Kenny Omega and Okada.
They
and
made
you'll
a belt
appreciate
for
it.
him.
And I can say the
Following
same
all them
Undertaker.
dudes, it's not all them dudes.
But
Like
it's not about that's the point I'm trying to bring to you. There were other feuds where you can actually appreciate it more than Okada. And just like when I'm saying AJ Styles, I can make the point for AJ Styles too. I can go back and forth with you all day and talk about all the greatness.
Kenny didn't win no world title.
Okay.
He did win a world title.
At his weight, at his upper
And he won an
club.
IC title.
That don't count.
Bro,
How does it
That-
count?
that don't count.
He kicked.
So Floyd doesn't
He
count.
kicked.
He
He
didn't win the
does count.
heavyweight.
He kicked.
Contradictory.
That's
AJ Styles.
Contradiction.
It is.
It's
He kicked
not.
AJ Styles out the Bullet
It's
Club
not.
2 years ago, and he still has not won the world title.
Question. Oh, you ain't watched WCW, have
Yeah,
you?
but you know, but
You
guess
see
what? When it
Rey
happens,
Mysterio versus
that's true.
Kevin Nash?
But when it happens, I bet
He
you.
still has AJ Styles been going for 2 years, and he's been a leader for 2 years, and still hasn't won the world title.
He's been in a story for 2
You
years.
the biggest thing over there, and still
He is the
haven't
biggest
won
thing
the
because
the
it's
world
the
title.
biggest story ever.
Of the
It's a
biggest
2-year
story ever.
story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a dumb comparison. I don't care.
I don't
Boxing
get
and
it.
Wrestling, dog.
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
It does because of the way they
Right,
build it
right,
over there.
right.
Wrestling
WWE.
weight
Right,
classes
right,
like
right.
boxing. So how did
That's
it not
fair.
right?
That's fair fighting that they're doing, bro.
Oh,
Listen.
you see Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Nash?
No.
No, you hear
At
me
154, Floyd Mayweather is the heavyweight at 154.
That's him.
Oh,
He
God.
can't go no
What I'm
bigger.
saying is, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying
They're built up like weight classes.
they're building. It's different
No, you
over
know
there.
it's not.
It
No,
is.
no.
How do you know? You don't watch
We're
it.
doing wrestling.
Bro,
You don't watch it. How do you
AJ
know?
Styles weighs
What's the-
220 pounds. I
cruiserweight
don't care
can't
what they
fight
say on the
a
card,
heavyweight?
bro.
What's a cruiserweight in New Japan? So that way you can answer me.
It
I
don't
just say
matter,
205.
man.
I'm walking out that
I
door.
don't
You
know.
have to,
I don't
bro.
know, but he's not the world champion, bro.
man.
You don't
Rey
gotta
Mysterio is a world
You don't
champion.
gotta have no weight to be the world
But wait,
champion,
I
bro.
Rey
don't-
Mysterio is a world
You don't-
champion.
Yes, you
sit-
do. In
then
New
you're
Japan,
sitting
you do.
It don't matter.
A junior world champion is a world champion.
It's not a
IC
world
title
champion.
is a
It's not
world
champion.
It is.
See how New
over
Japan
there.
You're
hold
like the
you
number
back?
one guy in the company.
That's like saying, yes,
Kenny is.
that's
You're
what
the
I'm
one guy in the
no,
company.
That's the best way to put it.
You ain't
Kenny
number
Omega
one.
has never been the number one guy in the company, and he ain't got the belt now.
Okay.
They made a new secondary belt for him to get over in the
And
United
that's corny.
States.
No.
That belt not even for New Japan. That belt is
Or
for
was it to bridge the relationship for the United States?
man. That's so
definitely
New
was.
Japan and Ring of Honor could team up and go against WWE.
Yeah, no,
they
that's
gotta
your
come together.
perspective.
That's cool.
That's your
I
perspective.
need
Often
that.
is that? How often does
I
that
need
happen?
that.
Since
They-
you know so much, how
they-
often does that happen?
I don't know, but they need to.
Not often.
They need to. I've seen more belts defended on more organizations in the last 5 years than I've ever seen it. Wrestling ain't what it
what I'm
was.
telling you is-
Kayfabe is dead. They trying to make a new
Exactly.
order of business. I'm not completely
You
for
gotta
that, but
adjust
it's
with the
cool.
time, right?
They need a secondary main.
I miss picking up a CD or looking at someone's record
They
collection.
need a secondary organization to
time.
go with WWE. They need it, but you can't just sit up here and say,
They act like they gonna pass WWE.
Like,
I
something
never
wrong.
said that.
You're saying it in your own way. You just scared to say it to
How
me.
did I say that?
You're scared to say it to me. Both of y'all.
Why would I
say
scared
it.
to say it? I can't even
Let me
talk
ask
to
you
you
this.
about New Japan. You don't watch
Is
it.
New Japan gonna pass WWE?
I can't even talk to you about NXT.
Black.
You
Black.
can't talk about NXT.
Black.
I can't talk to you about NXT because you don't watch
He
it.
do watch it. He just don't watch it right now.
So why would I talk about it now?
Oh
if you
my
don't watch it
goodness.
now?
Oh my goodness.
He not
Yo,
interested. He listen.
So
listen,
why would I
listen,
talk
listen.
to
No,
him?
no, 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 no. Hear me. When I say he don't watch it, when he'll turn the shit on, look at it, not catch his interest, keep it moving.
All right, so why would I talk to
We
him about
watch
it?
the highlights,
Like,
bro.
that's
It's
the
not
point.
interest. It's ass.
You know why?
It's
they
ass
coming-
right now, bro.
They working to get to the main
NXT
roster.
is ass right
Yes.
now. Oh
Yes.
my God. No,
Yes.
Is it over? Is the podcast
It's
over?
about to be over.
Nah, because you acting like NXT is not working to the main roster. That's
Exactly.
the
You're making
I didn't say that.
That's what it is, though. That's what it is.
Oh, I want NXT.
You're trying to make it
I
seem like,
know they
oh,
want
it's
to
his
come
own
to
brand. No, it's his brand underneath WWE,
But
bro.
guys, the point
No,
what
I
I
know,
was making
God,
was
no,
you
no.
said.
That's what you're saying.
No,
yeah.
what I'm saying is I can't talk to you about something you don't watch because how can I talk to you about it if you don't
He's
understand
knowledgeable
it?
of it. And where he's not, I am. So you can talk about it.
Well, again, we're talking about their New Japan fuse, and you're just saying that you don't.
I
Think
clearly
they do
said I don't
weight
watch
classes.
New Japan like that,
So
but I
why
watch
are we
New
talking
Japan.
about it?
But when I'm
you-
saying no.
Alright,
We're
you're
talking
saying
about
it's credible
greatness
with
of the
WWE
feuds.
though.
Ain't none of them feuds as good as the Okada feud where I would have came across it and watched it and talked about it, bro.
Question.
In the last 2 years.
Question. What's your top 5 wrestlers?
My top 5 wrestlers? Oh man, that's a loaded question.
Top 5.
I can't think of it.
Pick 5.
I can't.
You said Shawn Michaels, Kevin Owens. Pick 3 more on there.
No, these are
Pick
my
3.
personal favorites.
Yeah, personal favorites.
Oh, this is personal. Then I can name that my personal favorites. KO, but this is not all time, so I'm not. If I'm being honest, y'all know
ahead.
we had this conversation already.
WWE
Where I
guy.
said
Hey, go ahead. 1.
Kevin Owens, Naito.
You trying to name no WWE guy?
Okada. No, I'm not. Okada. He's definitely up there. And no, Kenny's not in.
TNA young
Just
boy.
for the record,
TNA
Kenny.
young boy.
TNA still starting to get heels. She's
Just
coming
for the
to
record,
me.
Kenny's
It's
not in
coming.
Kenny's not in my top 5. And that's being honest. Kenny's not in my top 5. AJ Styles is.
WWE guy.
How are these guys? Never mind.
He's here.
All right,
He's
good.
the
He's here.
champion.
I'm glad. But again, I
He's the
appreciate you're
champion.
saying my personal
His
favorite.
favorite wrestler is Chris Jericho, and you talk about Japan. If he ain't do
17
WWE,
straight
come
in
on.
WWE, baby.
And Cesaro, I'll put in my top 5 to round off.
They all over Undertaker, Stone Cold, Steve Austin.
But you
all
just said my
Rock.
personal
It's
favorite.
personal. It's personal, but are they over them guys though? That's wrestling. When we start talking about wrestling now.
Oh God, you
He's
might
asking you a question.
I'm
He's
asking
asking
you
you
a
a
question.
question. He's asking you a
Keep your
question.
feelings out of it,
All
man.
right.
Keep your feelings out of it.
Top 5. So
He
if
said,
you
is
wanna
that
go
top
Mount
5
Rushmore-
over the all-time top 5?
Top 5 now.
Okay,
Your personal top
Your
5.
top, yeah.
He's getting to somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to say my personal top 5 I gave you. So you want the overall top 5 that I think?
Yes.
I'll give you. What did I say earlier? Ric Flair,
Oh, WWE
Hulk
guy.
Hogan.
WWE definitely died.
But again, I know what you're getting at, but I'll just still continue. Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, John Cena.
Damn, what the hell?
Put Taker in your top 5?
No, because he's not a mega star.
You crazy. This conversation is done.
I had to piss
I don't
him
want
off.
to talk to this guy.
I had to piss him off. You see
He don't mean it.
I
He
like
don't
to
mean
do
it.
this
He don't
out
mean
loud.
it. He don't mean
Your
it.
credit is
He don't mean it.
no. You
don't mean it. I thought you meant that shit. No.
I'm telling you every time we talk about wrestling again.
meant that shit?
Did you
He
see my
did it in
face?
the battle. He did it in the battle. He didn't catch the jokes.
I don't think you're greater than anybody in New Japan.
That's good.
He'll break it down.
But why do you keep saying like I'm defending New Japan?
You are.
I'm not. We
are.
were talking
You
New
are.
Japan.
No, we can't
You
say
ain't-
facts.
That's not a fact.
But wait, so hold on, wait. I
You
can't
don't know
talk
what
wrestling
facts
without
is.
talking about New
You
Japan.
told me Wikipedia wasn't a fact. No, it's not a fact.
No, it's not, because people can edit information on
Everybody
Wikipedia.
knows-
Wikipedia
I've been on
do that.
Wikipedia several times and edited several things
Because
on
it's
wrestling.
update.
not.
It
It's
update.
not.
It's on the Google.
I'm pretty. I don't know the
No,
title.
people can edit shit on
Oh,
Wikipedia.
y'all, oh my goodness.
But anyway, what
We
I'm
can't
saying.
edit
Y'all
shit on
read,
Wikipedia,
y'all read
nigga.
books though, but y'all do everything. We write books.
We can't edit shit on
Whatever.
Wikipedia.
Yeah,
Yes,
bullshit.
you can.
That's, oh, you
Yes, you
can.
can.
I can't edit shit on Wikipedia.
It's people that make their
I
own
could.
profiles on Wikipedia.
Lying, man.
I know rappers that made their own profile on Wikipedia. bro.
AJ Styles' title part is legit.
Come on, man.
That part.
It's not always
It
about
is.
tales, though. It was about more
But again,
impact.
what I'm
Right.
talking
The
about.
motherfucker died
Okay, I
today.
think you-
What I don't
Next
like about
time,
this conversation, it did take a whole new.
Because you're going off another subject of what I was trying to prove.
No.
We
What he
proved
did
that.
was he gave you a alternative narrative of what was going down today.
No, it wasn't. We
This
we talking
man's
about
hashtag.
impact. We
This
talking about
man's
impact.
hashtag is AJ over Kenny.
Yeah,
The
because
reason I didn't want to talk about this
I
is
thought
because
it
of the
was AJ over
said.
Kenny as a Bullet Club leader. What you
That's
talking
what we said. That's what
Bro,
we said. Impact.
I told
That's what
y'all
we
once I
talking
got in a
about. We had
conversation,
top five.
it
I
didn't
told
matter
you.
no more.
I told you.
Bullet Club's not even on the NWO yet.
Well,
It's
I
a
mean,
fake ass club.
Once you got in, we couldn't even talk about NXT, New Japan, because
We
you don't watch
could.
it.
We
So
could.
I didn't want to leave you out the whole time. I felt bad.
You keep pulling that card like
We
it's
do
brother.
watch
I
it.
watch it. It's just not. It's not WWE.
But if you don't watch it fluently, he
But you
can't
don't
really
watch it
talk to you
fluently.
about it.
No,
That's
what is
Wrestling
it?
WWE.
This is it.
You want to watch Backlash
What
tonight?
you doing, What you doing, NXT? It don't really
matter.
matter on WWE.
I told you this.
Then Finn, why did Finn get shot to the top if it didn't matter? If he
He a
didn't
don't
shoot
matter,
first?
Neil.
He a
Look at him.
prospect. He a draft pick. He a prospect.
Yeah, damn.
They put the strap on. They put the strap on right away.
So
he
he
also
dropped the
had
ball,
to get
so
injured.
then he dropped the ball.
They put the
Because
title
of
on
that.
Jinder Mahal. He had a longer run than Finn Balor.
Yeah, because he got
But
injured.
it happened. But it happened in
But it's
WWE, so that matters. That makes
so it
sense.
matters.
22 hours. I could have had the ball that
Alright.
damn long.
My point.
Yeah.
The damn child had it longer than him.
Unfortunately, unfortunately,
He got
Jinder Mahal is
injured.
a future Hall of Famer. Like it or not. Like it or not.
Yeah, I'm not
Hall of Famer.
I won't co-sign that. But again,
You
I
crazy.
think you're mistaking the narrative.
crazy.
Had his
I'm
strap
trying
for
to
half
talk.
a year.
Crazy.
I was just talking.
Half of the
wrestling.
year 2017, he
crazy.
had the belt.
Jim Mahal
The year
not Hall of
Jinder.
Famer.
But again, I understand the narrative where you're going. Like, I'm not trying to sit there and discuss what's this versus that because all the styles are different. What the point I was trying to make is that you can't sit there and say like this part doesn't matter because he didn't win this. If you don't even know the dynamic of how the weight classes are, you don't know the dynamic on how everything is booked over
he
there.
ain't the number one
So
guy.
how can you really judge it? Okay,
Ain't
that's
no one
cool.
guy.
Well, Okada's the number one guy, obviously.
Bro,
He wouldn't be the number one guy in WWE right now.
Listen, I ain't gonna say nothing. They can put it however they want it. If he signs to WWE, he's under what they want him to do.
That's what matters. Listen, man.
Amongst the elite, because that's where the elite is, not your group.
So
No offense.
Okada's
Stone
not
Cold,
elite?
you're
Okada's
Rock,
not elite?
you're Hulk
But
Hogan.
that's what I'm saying.
He was
1998.
TNA young boy, according to AJ Styles.
AJ
That's how I
Styles
remember
elite
him.
now.
When AJ Styles painted that picture, when I went back and found out who Okada was,
Prisoners,
I said, "Oh
prisoners.
shit!"
But wait,
Definitely.
so
Prisoners.
but then he's the
TNA
biggest star,
young
one of the
boy.
biggest stars in wrestling right now.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Okada's fired.
You just
I'm
said
not
he wasn't-
disrespecting him.
you just said
But
thank you.
when I went back,
You called
when I
him
went
TNA
back,
young boy.
when I had to go back, when I had to go back and find out who Okada was, and then I found out who he was in TNA, he didn't make it over here. He the man over there.
You can go back to see
Just
who
like
everybody
was.
was.
Just like everybody else in WWE. They was
A-Train
the
was
man
on there.
in Japan.
A-Train
but when
was-
you came
Bro,
over
so
here,
A-Train
you
was
wasn't
relevant.
that.
That's because it's
Prior to Chris Benoit
because-
ever winning a
that's why
world
he's still on
championship,
fire, too.
he was the man in Japan. Scott
their
Norton,
company.
prior to coming to WCW, was the
man
man in Japan. Everybody always the man in Japan.
It's his
What
company.
you call?
to do
You told me
he
what they
wants.
call? They call them Guyans or Gaijus
You're
or
discrediting everything that's not happening in WWE.
The foreigners from
Just
Japan.
because a man choose to run his company a certain way, you're
Sorry,
discrediting
sorry,
everything else.
sorry.
He's the man versus the world, and he held
Alright.
you down.
That's it.
Everybody had an
Show
organization at one
What you
time.
talking
Oh,
about?
Everybody had an organization at
Why
one
are you
time.
sitting there saying? But everyone has an organization. But again,
It's not
you're
Vince
looking
McMahon's.
at New Japan. You're looking at no one's Vince McMahon. And again,
WWE
I don't get
stands.
where you're saying that I hate WWE or I'm saying that.
I'm not saying
Because
you're
you're
defending this
having-
man.
you're
So you
having-
gotta die with him.
Yeah, you got that exactly.
Well,
You
I'm
go ahead.
defending this. No,
You
well,
on the
I'm
other
defending-
side
I'm
right now.
defending what wrestling
Let him
is.
stick you down, bro.
I'm actually defending what wrestling is as far as
Yeah.
a worldwide thing. That is
Yeah.
a worldwide thing. It's not just WWE and a
Thank you.
worldwide thing. And
I
that's
agree
what
to
I'm
that.
stating.
No, you don't.
But
No,
no,
wait,
WWE is the worldwide leader.
That's all I care
That's
about.
what you don't. That's what you
all I
don't
care
care about. That's what
all
you
I care about.
No.
That's
You
what I'm about
understand the
wrestling.
point. All he
He's
cares about is
wrestling
you
well,
understand the
WWE.
point. You give it to us like
hell
New
no.
Japan is over this and they put on a
I
better
didn't
match
say-
and
I didn't-
they got Jericho over
I
here.
didn't-
Motherfucker, I didn't see Jericho for the last 20 years.
That wasn't-
And
that
WWE
wasn't-
beat
that
Stone Cold
You know,
and Rock.
so
That
it's
wasn't
like,
an argument. That
because
wasn't
they're
an
doing
argument.
something
That
new.
wasn't an
Like,
argument.
like,
That's
What
not
I'm
why I
saying
made the
is like
hashtag.
Oh, my
when you talk
goodness.
about wrestling, you got to talk about everybody.
They've
You
been
can't
around for
just-
years.
You know what I mean? There's so much going on right now, especially in the era that you're living in. You have everything at your fingertips. If you watch you watch
Conversation
Red
next.
Pro.
Look, a nigga like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes ain't making his name outside of WWE. His name is already made.
His name is at a higher level. He made his legacy.
But he
His
elevated.
father is the American
wrestling.
dream.
You don't know
That's
that.
the
He
Rhodes,
make it
bro.
elevated though.
He elevated.
Excuse
So
me?
you're not allowed to elevate your name past WWE.
No,
'Cause
he's
I think
elevating his character. He's not elevating his name.
What?
His name is
His
solidified.
name is Cody Rhodes.
His
It's
name
Cody.
is solidified, bro.
He's a Hall of Famer at WWE.
When he come back to WWE, if he come back, he might not be making more money because he was getting paid $3.5 million then. His name ain't getting bigger. WWE don't
His
need
name is
Cody
getting
Rhodes.
His name is getting bigger.
No,
getting
his
bigger.
brand getting bigger. That's what's getting bigger.
That's him.
Shawn Michaels opening up a store is bigger in his brand, not bigger in his name.
Hulk Hogan everybody got a store.
They name is made,
But that's
bro.
the point.
They
That's
name
the
is
point.
made,
Their name
bro.
is made.
They name is made, bro.
Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan are already established. They're legends. What Cody is doing, he's actually elevating
He a legend.
himself. He's elevating his character. He
And
wasn't
brand.
at legend status in WWE.
And
Don't
his
tell me
brand.
that
His
you were.
name
He was
is
a good
solidified. His
He's
name
a
is
brand
Cody
now.
Rhodes.
He
His
wasn't a
name is
brand in WWE. He's a brand now.
on his birthday. He was solidified because of who his father is, bro.
Yeah,
not.
Guess it. You know what? You're right. And guess who else is a Hall of Famer because of his name? Ted DiBiase Jr.
No,
Oh,
Junior.
He was
No,
born with
he
it.
not good in the ring.
No, Cody actually
not good
won
in the ring,
titles,
bro.
He won titles at WWE.
He not good in the ring. Don't
Damn,
tell me
bullshit.
that.
Not me.
Don't give me that.
with
You
you.
trying to agree on a technicality? No, we being real, bro. Like,
real.
everybody
Not
second
real.
generation don't make it. What was the?
And he did.
And he's taking it bigger without them.
He was already there. He was
not already there.
No, he just.
Why did he leave
No.
if he's already
Time
there?
out. He just in more control of his character right
character,
now.
that's it.
That's all it is right now.
He
That's
gonna
all
do
it
what he
is.
want to do now.
Because if he had this green light in WWE, he would be all over it,
He
bro.
didn't have it. That's the
And
point.
that's why he fucking
Who
left.
does? Everybody does it because it's
That's
under.
why they leave. That's the point. But what I'm trying to say is he can elevate himself past that.
But what I'm saying, he don't gotta make his
So
name
because-
his name made, bro.
So-
If Dolph
so
Ziggler
he
left,
can't be bigger
if
because
Dolph
he made
Ziggler
a
left
name
right
in
now,
WWE?
There's plenty of people that left WWE that
if Dolph
didn't have a
Ziggler
name.
left right
that fell
now, he
off.
not going out to make his name. He
elevated
going
it.
up to big his brand.
Get more money.
Elevate his
Bad.
character, not to big his name.
Well,
you
Jack
do, you
Swagger
get
made
older,
his
you
name,
keep
and what does
doing
he
it.
did?
Jack Swagger's ass, bro.
But what are you talking
Jack
about?
Swagger
then?
left.
Does it
He
make
left.
His
He
ass
was
is a
champion.
wrestler.
He left. He was a world champion. Left, and then what?
left.
He's a
World
Hall of
champion.
Famer.
I respect Jinder Mahal 10 times more than I respect Jack Swagger.
cool, but
in the
what the
ring,
point I'm trying
outside
to
the ring,
make is-
everything.
What's your
So
point?
he's not a great
The
example.
point is that you can't just sit there and say because I was a WWE heavyweight champion, I'm gonna make it outside of it.
Well, he
Nah.
wasn't. He wasn't good in the ring. He wasn't good. He wasn't even jobber good in the ring to me. So no. Jinder, on the other hand, who can actually work in the ring, put on matches with people.
Jack Swagger can wrestle.
He's not better than Jinder Mahal.
He can't cut a promo, but that's fine. But what I'm telling you is,
He not better than
But
Jinder
again,
Mahal.
you're not. I don't care who's better between Jinder Mahal and Jack Swagger. What I'm trying to tell you is that the fact that not everybody that leaves and tries to make a name for themselves, they don't really have their name established. Because guess what? His name is not established.
But Cody Rhodes do. His name
He's
wasn't.
a world
No.
heavyweight champion in WWE. You look it up,
Jack
who's in
Swagger. Jack Swagger wasn't good in the ring in
He
WWE.
wasn't a heavyweight champion.
Cody
until
Rhodes
with
was
ROH.
legit since day one. He don't need no help.
Who?
Cody Rhodes.
Yes, because he.
I
did
think
it on
him
his
joining
own.
the Bullet Club, that shit it
helped
helped
the Bullet
It helped
Club.
the Bullet Club. It helped him be established. The fact that you're aligning yourself with somebody, but it helped solidify the Bullet Club. They lost Gallows, they lost Anderson, they lost AJ, they lost Cole.
But you know how
They
long-
added
but wait.
Hangman Page.
But how long did it take for
Who's
Cody
Hangman
to
Page,
join
Black?
after that?
I don't know.
You don't know Hangman Page. Who's Cody
Why is he
Rhodes?
talking about it?
Who's Cody Rhodes? You know who Cody Rhodes is? What I'm saying
Well,
is,
why-
when they had to replace people in the Bullet Club, you needed some big time names. Cody Rhodes was a big time name because of WWE, not because of what he did. The American Nightmare shit wasn't over. He
But
just started
guess
the
what?
shit.
But
It's
wait.
the opposite of his
He
father.
just started the shit.
When Cody was introduced compared to when Marty Scurll was introduced,
Oh
who
my
had the
goodness.
bigger impact?
Say that again.
So when Marty Scurll got introduced into the Bullet Club,
Okay.
and when Cody Rhodes got introduced into the Bullet Club,
Okay.
who made the bigger impact and who got the bigger pop and who was actually more talked about?
All right. So I'm only going to say it from my perspective.
Marty.
Marty Jones was fired because it looked like they wasn't going to fuck up Adam Cole. But that vignette from Cody, the fact that he was coming over after leaving WWE, it was a big thing. Like, oh shit.
But what was more
Bullet
talked
Club is
about?
the biggest faction
You
right
had
now,
more
and he's adding to the
gasoline
Bullet
to the
Club.
fire.
More talked
Y'all,
about.
I remember y'all niggas told me, I hope they don't start adding everybody to the Bullet Club, and I didn't understand what that meant. I had to go figure out what that meant. He's like adding
still
a bunch
feel
of
that
people, but at the same time, he a big name that needed some that Bullet Club needed to be solidified, especially
Maybe
with
he needed
Kenny Omega
solidification
as
where
your
he was
leader,
going.
with the Young Bucks as your backup, and you got the OGs over there. It's not. It's more of the elite than it is the
That didn't
Bullet
start.
Club,
That
bro.
didn't start till like recently though. Before Cody's debut, that wasn't even a part of it. That happened after Cody. That's where they're going with their storyline. What I'm saying is Cody debuted. He did the vignette. Cool. He made his Wrestle Kingdom debut that same time. Yeah, he was a big name. But again, when you're sitting there talking about debuts into the Bullet Club, when you actually look at it, and when you're actually talking about the dollars and cents, that shirt that you're actually wearing right now, that Villain Club shirt, is the best sold Villain Club.
We ain't arguing about this right
But what
now.
I'm telling you is that his debut was bigger than Cody's because, again, he's having more
I said
success
arguably
off
though.
of it.
I like Scroll John though. I like how Scroll came
But
in.
that's what I'm talking about. So it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It's all a matter of how it's done.
It doesn't matter because I don't know what the hell you talking about.
That's not my problem that you don't know.
Time out. But
That's
now,
not my
when
problem. You don't know. You don't watch.
When you bring Cody, you bring the real WWE fans in.
Facts.
You
Facts.
never missed that
Facts.
point.
But maybe you're
Facts.
missing the set. We're talking
Facts.
You keep
wrestling.
missing this
Facts.
point. You keep
People
talking
know
wrestling.
Cody because of that.
It's not because of the
Because of the E.
It's bull. You keep
Because
trying
of
to
the E.
pull.
No offense.
Apple.
No offense.
Word.
Here's another great wrestler people know because of WWE. Pete Dunne. Okay. They know him because of WWE. You can't act like the
First time I
WWE
heard him.
stamp don't mean something.
It mean it.
When I'm talking to him. When Kenny Omega
Never
gets
said
stamped by WWE, all these validations
He
and
don't
points
need.
is
He,
going to
don't-
mean
Kenny
a lot
doesn't need
more.
to be stamped.
You
He
can
doesn't
go
need to
back
be
and
a whole
stamped.
lot more.
He doesn't need to be
But
stamped.
I'm not no mind reader. And I'm not no fortune teller.
You know why?
He doesn't need to be stamped.
Because actually, when you go back into the archives and look, I can actually show you. When the UK tournament came, I said, look out for the names of Trent Seven,
They already know
Tyler
him.
Bate, Pete Dunne.
They already made a name for
And
themselves.
Hold on.
More people knew.
Hold on.
More people knew.
I could probably speak for you when I said this. We did not watch the UK tournament. I did watch the finals though. I did not watch the
I
UK
heard
tournament.
Scott Pete was in it.
But Pete already made a name of himself on the
But
UK.
that way he
people
solidified.
know him.
When he came to the main
know
roster,
him.
when
Like,
he came to
if
the
he
roster,
see
I said,
Pete, if he see
I
Pete
seen that
on
belt
the
one
card,
time. I keep trying to tell you.
Well, I mean, you're close-minded into what you're watching.
It's not
That's not my
close-minded.
fault.
Prisoners. Prisoners.
But that's not my
not
fault.
prisoners. That's the
So you
majority.
telling me-
He's
oh.
the majority fan.
So you
I'm not
telling
the
me
majority
NBA
fan.
don't matter.
You're not the
NFL
majority
don't
fan.
matter. Come
He's
on,
not the
that's
majority
We're
fan.
speaking for all fans, am I not
That's what
right?
you're saying.
Am
Not
I not
speaking
right
for
that
all
we're speaking
fans,
for all fans right
But I
now?
know the
both
casual
fans.
wrestler fan. The
This is
everyday wrestling fan is a
This is
WWE fan, bro.
WWE. This is wrestling.
The everyday wrestling
Am I
fan
right
is-
or wrong in that?
But the question was
His
WWE
fans
over
ain't
there?
all New Japan fans.
Who?
Your fans.
But I'm
A
not
lot more of them.
I'm
No,
talking
a lot
wrestling.
Agree
more.
with me on some stuff.
A lot more of them know that
It's WWE fans.
WWE is number one and everybody else is number two, depending on
Who here
preference.
said WWE was not number one today?
Y'all,
When
I
did we say
did.
that?
When did I say that? When did I? Whoa.
you jumping with him.
I've heard a
So
say
go
this
ahead
or
with him.
strongly,
Go ahead with him.
I don't know.
or strongly,
I don't know what you're
or
talking
strongly.
about. I came here for the argument.
I didn't say he was number. I never said he wasn't number one.
Hold on.
I
I sat
can't
here.
tell
I
about
said
it.
a
I
lot
never
of
said it
things.
was number one.
When did I not say
You
WWE
should
was
compare
not
a
the number
Japan
one
wrestler
wrestling company?
to a WWE wrestler.
Yo, we did our top 5 last time about the most influential
tried to
Bullet Club
compare that.
members. When the fuck did I say
tried to
WWE
compare
was
that.
a number one? You try to make it seem like
Kenny
that
Omega's
anything
better than
that-
AJ
I
Styles.
tell you
I'm
exactly
saying
when
it.
you said it. You
Bro.
said it the
saying it.
day we started talking about wrestling. You've been
Saying
saying
it.
New
You've been
Japan
saying
better
it
than
number one.
WWE.
There
Bring
is.
it on to
You don't know the history. I can't tell you.
I'm sorry.
Better
I'm
and
looking at
number
you.
one is two
I'm sorry,
different
I'm looking
things.
at you.
Jumping with him.
It's better.
Fall with
It's
him.
better. It's better or number one, two different things.
Same thing. Number one.
It's something better than the other.
Overall,
When you say
NBA,
when you say
NFL.
better, when you say better, that's a term of opinion.
That
When
ain't
you
how
say
he
number
meant
one,
it.
that's ranks.
He mean it's
Am I
better
right?
and it's
Stop
number
telling
one.
me what you think I
He
mean.
mean
I
it's
didn't
better
say
and
that.
Speaking on
you here because he think you give him validation to say that it's
No,
better
no,
and number one.
no.
It's not.
No, it's not. You're here. He's here because we talked about this months ago. Just so happily, the Bullet Club 5th anniversary is now, and we had a topic going up, and he has knowledge of Bullet Club, so he
can I
decided
talk
to
about
come.
Bullet Club?
Did I know you were coming today?
No.
Did I?
No.
Exactly.
I texted you and said, all right, I'll come through. He
Okay.
invited me and I
You
said,
guys
I'll
are swimming
come
in
Okay.
the same river
I'm
together.
good.
Just
And
falling
you too.
together.
Anything
I don't believe that lie.
anything
Fall down,
that-
believe that shit.
I don't believe
through.
that
You want
lie.
me to show you?
Show the text. What the hey, what?
I don't believe that lie.
He hit me up. He was like, yo, you going to call in? I said, call in. What's your address? That's exactly how the dialogue
I called
went.
him out this week too, just so y'all know. That's why he here then.
Huh?
I made everybody know Joe don't come to the show this week. Maybe he here. Maybe he here because of me then. I don't know.
Hey, man.
Shit.
All I was saying was-
Ace been hyping up 5, 6, 8. I didn't know he was gonna be here until I came out the house this morning and seen the motherfucker in front of my house this morning. Like, oh, okay.
Let me call Andrew.
Okay.
Let's make some phone calls.
Okay.
Call Andrew. Hear his thoughts.
Oh, man,
See
you
how you
funny as
feel.
crap.
It's just, y'all ain't with WWE.
I never
Hell
said
with
I'm
y'all.
I love wrestling. I
I ain't
from a
saying
wrestling
wrestling.
standpoint.
Hold on.
I'm saying WWE
Hold on.
now.
I love
Andrew.
wrestling, man.
Yo,
What's up, buddy? How you doing? It's Ace.
I'm good. You?
I'm sorry?
I'm good. You?
I'm good. We here making some phone calls. You're the first person I called. How do you feel about being? Who do you think
Who are
is
you
the
talking
most?
to?
That's
Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew in the
I
group.
work with him, man.
Andrew in the group.
Crazy ass.
We on the show.
He
We
crazy
on,
Buff Club
Okay,
fan,
okay,
too.
hold on.
You wanna add on to the fire.
Hold on. Keep going. Who do you think is the more or had more impact as Bullet Club leader, AJ Styles or Kenny Omega?
Well, I don't know. You have to put it in two sets, like merchandise sales and championships. Like if you put in championships, you gotta put AJ in it because every
I
member
love
of the
you.
Bullet Club at
Go
that
ahead.
time had a title.
Mm-hmm.
But if you put in merchandise, Kenny Omega. But if you put it like this, Hot Topics and Pro Wrestling Tees is popular now, and that's when the time the Elite was out and everything. So you would see who generate more money was the Elite, but with more title success, it's AJ.
Right. So, yep.
But if Kenny beats Okada,
Is we talking about shirts or is we talking about championships?
He just said
John
both
Cena-
sides.
Are we talking about shirts
Hold on.
or are we talking about championships? Are we talking about wins
Oh, God.
or are we talking about
Why have call-ups?
championships?
Why have call-ups? Yo, let's give him this time.
You gotta give me something.
Thank you, Andrew.
You gotta give me
Thank you,
something.
Andrew. You proved my point.
Can you finish your before they cut you off?
all right, I'm saying that if Kenny Omega beats Okada at the Mania, and now
If was a fifth, we all be drunk.
I love that line.
Because he's got the heavyweight title.
There's no validation in if.
Andrew, I got a
We're
question.
talking right now.
Now you're
We're
talking
talking
about
about
hold on. Now you, Andrew, your point is it depends on perspective. If you're talking about overall, you leaning more Kenny. If you're talking about championships, you're talking about AJ. But if Kenny wins this match coming forward, overall is Kenny. Is that the point you're trying to make?
You're trying to prove his point.
Asking the question.
This is crazy.
Is that your point? Huh?
Let's play if. This can't if right here.
Okay.
I got some if.
All right.
go.
Now he has a question for you.
If Samoa Joe loses to AJ Styles, and if AJ Styles beats CM Punk's record, and if I hear all this if shit, we talking about right now. I don't want to hear no if. What are we talking about right now?
You're taking one context of what he said. What he said is if
yeah,
that's
what he said.
He said if you are talking about championships, he's talking about you because y'all talking about championships. If you're talking about championships,
do
AJ
championships
Styles
not matter in the case
AJ Styles.
of AJ Styles? I mean Kenny over AJ.
So he's agreeing
He
with you.
ain't a world champion. He's not even in his class.
If you're
Y'all
talking
said
about
that.
If you're talking about
He's not in his class. Y'all said that.
If you're talking about overall merchandise, you're talking about Kenny. So he's basically saying on both ends. But once Kenny wins,
I got a Bullet Club T-shirt because I seen AJ Styles with that. Joke.
Listen, Andrew.
Exactly.
You're not even wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt. You're wearing a Villain Club.
Today, I own a Bullet Club T-shirt though.
Hey, Andrew,
I own a Bullet Club
bro.
T-shirt, and I own a American Nightmare T-shirt. Shout out to my nigga Cody. You know what I mean? But I'm not wearing no T-shirt because I do want a cleaner T-shirt. That on fire. But that's keep going to the collection. I need flavors. I like black T-shirts. But I don't got this shit on because of Kenny. This shit wasn't hot because of Kenny. The shit was hot before Kenny got there, actually.
It was hot before AJ got there.
That's true. But it got hotter when AJ got there.
And then it got even hotter when Kenny was on
I
there.
can't. Thank you. That's the proof that I want. That is the proof that I want. The group not even, but the overall group, the roster of AJ's roster and Kenny's roster, even though it's somewhat similar, Kenny's roster not stronger.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? It's Ace in Wrestle Cave. How you?
What Chris is this?
I can't hear this one.
This Ace. This is Ace from Wrestle Cave. I'm calling you. We on Wrestle Cave recording live. What's good?
I can't call it, brother. What's going on?
Good. So we having a debate, and basically we call and we made some calls. So we want to know, as far as the Bullet Club, who had the most impact? We want your opinion. Being a leader, was it AJ Styles or Kenny Omega?
Personally, I think AJ got to go to the top. Now, granted, I'm not like Kenny in no way, shape, or form. I'm not knocking the elite success, none of that, but AJ put that superstar joke into the club. Like, Finn Balor was good. Devin was a good guy. He was cool. He started it. AJ took it to another level, and I think Kenny just pretty much rolled over on it. Mm-hmm. But I definitely feel like AJ just a little bit more.
Okay.
Just a little bit more. But I understand, like, the popularity got crazier once AJ got there, and then Kenny pretty much just kept
the popularity got crazier.
I think AJ helped with the superstar joke with his 2-year run.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet Club was a thing already.
No problem, bro. Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
No problem, sir. Y'all keep doing your thing.
All right, bet. All right, so that was Chris. All right, let's see.
Guess we 2 for 2, right?
No,
Yes, we are.
not 2 for 2.
Friday. We ain't 2 for 2.
How you
did
interpret
2
things
calls.
is crazy.
They just say AJ Styles. They both say AJ Styles.
No, he basically said that if you're looking at it from a standpoint of championships, AJ.
What
If you're looking
nation
at it as
domination
popularity, it's
What is
Kenny.
nation domination? We gotta
That's
cut
what he
this
said.
shit off, dog.
I don't see how. I don't understand what the fuck he's doing. I don't understand how motherfuckers interpret.
I don't understand what's going on.
I don't get it.
AJ Styles is bigger than Kenny Omega, whatever will be.
I don't get it, bro.
I know you guys agree with me. Come on.
I don't get how you took that as 2 for 2.
No world champion.
Tell him it also go by wins against Okada.
Who the
That's Andrew McGuire. Bring them on camera. That's Pat. Pat says hello, guys.
Hello, Pat. How you
Pat
doing?
said hello. Hold on, Pat said hello. I'm about to call Pat now.
Hello, Pat, man.
Pat, somebody's about to call you, Pat.
Call
Pat, you're supposed to be here right now, just so you know, sir.
Pat,
You're always welcome over to Wrestle Cave Podcast.
Pat, stop and do next weekend.
Next week we got Pat. Pat, you better bring your shit because we don't play with you motherfuckers on here. Pat's the only viewer on Facebook Live right now, and you gonna call him.
Tell him to pick up the phone. I'm trying. I dialed. Pat. Oh, Pat didn't answer.
He's
But
watching on Facebook Live.
But yeah, man, I guess it depends on how you look at it. They looking at it championships. I guess we're looking at it from overall, and you're looking at it in the ring with the different feuds. That
Look at it in the ring, different feuds, the impact that they're making as far as a whole as Bullet Club. I mean, just as far as the brand of Bullet Club, because you have to speak on the brand. And that's the main thing that I want to show is that when you make a brand better, that is making your name better. And that's exactly what he did with the Bullet Club. He's making that brand better, more popular. It's actually more mainstream than what it was when AJ got there. Again, it was when Finn created it, made it great. Mm-hmm. AJ created, made it hot. Kenny came in, and now Young Bucks with him along. Just the group as a whole, they're making it hotter. I mean, again, you got a YouTube series. All that stuff was not available at the time.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to really look at.
And
all
that's
this
amazing.
stuff being the elite wasn't available.
Is these guys bigger than the NWO?
What are you talking
I'm asking a
about?
question now. Come on, I'm just asking a question. Why you get so sensitive?
I'm
man?
not sensitive. I'm just
Ask
saying,
a
like, you
question,
just
damn.
threw me off the
That's
point
a
I was
legit
making
question.
about
You
Bullet
ain't-
Club.
I'm trying to talk about Bullet Club. You want to keep talking about it.
Bullet Club
I got you.
is the Bullet Club over the NWO.
I personally think it's a remix of the NWO. It's Click and all this crap. So
No, actually, Undisputed
don't
Era.
lie like that.
It's a
Undisputed
paid homage to that.
Undisputed Era is more of a.
The one thing that I'm trying to show you is that the fact that, yes, I'm not understand you're tired of it because you don't watch it. So, I mean, I get it. So,
AJ Styles
but I'm
left
just get
Bullet
back
Club,
to the
it's
original
over.
point is, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad it's over for you.
Is the Undisputed Era more of the NWO?
They
than-
have
Hell
a
no.
vibe.
They
I love
do.
it because I love
Yeah, they
but
do.
I love it though because I'm not
Don't
against
you
it.
ever disrespect the NWO again?
It's not disrespect.
Don't you ever disrespect the NWO
It's not
again.
disrespect.
None of them guys.
You don't even watch them, so you.
None of them
Oh,
guys
it
better
doesn't
than
matter.
Kevin Nash.
But again,
none of them
I
guys
feel-
better than
All right, no,
Stone
all
Cold.
right,
So
no.
Kevin
Let's
Nash
let's
said
hey,
that
Black,
stuff.
Black,
That's a good
let's
question.
let's sit down and be let's be civil about this.
So look,
Where do you get
Where do I rank?
get off saying that Undisputed Era is more like NWO? I want to understand.
promos,
so
the
I want to
promos.
understand.
All right,
I
I
want
want
to
to watch it.
I wanna
Oh, it was a
understand.
Takeover. It's
Let
not a
me- let me-
takeover,
let me
bro.
answer.
NXT, not you ain't.
I said it's an NWO vibe. Maybe you misunderstood.
No.
It's they're playing.
He
So
said
remember how
something.
NWO came out? They had to cut the promos in black and white.
Yeah.
They're in the back. They're like
Music
it's like
playing.
a cheap camera. Their music is playing.
Yeah, just like
that's the same
Undisputed
vibe
Era.
that they're taking. That's what the
what I'm
Undisputed Era is
saying.
taking.
You take
but,
shit out of context.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's a vibe.
There's not like the NWO.
We're not saying
No,
they're
it's
bigger
takeover.
or nothing. We're not saying
No,
that.
it ain't
Their
takeover,
careers
like-
just started. They're NXT. They didn't even make the main
Because-
roster.
all right,
well,
time out,
it's
time out,
over
time out, time out,
already.
time out,
That's
time
what I'm saying,
out,
they're
time
already
out.
big
So are
faction.
you saying
That's what I'm saying,
because
how
of
big
how
it
they
was.
cut their promos?
I think they're
That's
paying,
how they
they're
present
paying
it.
like-
How it's
they're
rolled out.
paying-
That's
They're
not
paying
it. That's
100
corny,
tons of
man.
homage.
Bro, I
to
mean,
it.
besides their promos, I don't think nothing else is like.
NWO.
I mean, they're
Nothing
dope.
will
I
be
like Undisputed
NWO.
Era.
Why do you think anything
I-
will be it?
Excuse me?
Nothing will be NWO.
That's what
No, that's why I asked Bullet Club because
That's a
people don't
question,
understand
yo.
it. I think guys like him sometimes don't understand a lot of what Bullet Club is doing is just NWO shit, but
No, I
a little
do
bit
understand
cooler,
that. They do too
a
sweet.
little bit better.
I know that. They got that from
It's
BX.
not just too
But
sweet.
I think
pay
they're
homage
just-
and tribute.
They're paying, but they already said it. Like Kevin Nash acknowledged it.
Exactly.
That's your
It's
boy.
what it is. I get
He
it.
said-
I
he
get it.
said-
It's
he
another
said they're paying
conversation, bro.
homage.
If I was a wrestler, I would be just like them niggas, bro. Like
They're
that's
doing-
just
but
that's
you know
just
what
me.
you know who they are to me? To me, the Bullet Club is who we were as the kids at the time when the NWO came out.
A knockoff NWO,
But
or knockoff DX.
But again, what you're saying is, I feel like that's what they are. They're us. They're playing us when we were in the schoolyard.
But what I'm
Teach
saying
meeting and being
is,
cool.
what I'm saying is, we can't act like this shit ain't been done before.
But who act like that?
Ace, Porter,
Did they, listen. Did
Ace Porter,
any
Wrestle
member-
Podcast.
Did any member of NWO outside of WWE or WCW rent a 12,000 seat venue
Oh, no,
to
that's
sell it out?
never-
They would have sold out more than 12,000 seats.
I'm asking the question.
Roddy, what you call sold out?
Kevin Nash,
Did it
Scott
happen?
Hall, Hulk
You're not
Hogan,
answering my question.
NWO sold out.
You're not answering my
NWO sold out. They had a
question.
pay-per-view.
You're not answering my question.
NWO sold out. They had a pay-per-view.
They did it. They were
Did they fund it with their own money?
Did they fund it with their own money?
Yes, it did.
This is the thing. They
Hulk Hogan had enough money if he wanted to, but that
You're
wasn't
not
the
answering
situation.
my question.
NWO was under
Bishop did.
WCW.
This is Wrestle
They're part of
Podcast.
WCW.
I can't.
No, they're part of WCW, bro. That's what you don't
Wrestle
understand.
Podcast,
No,
man.
what he's saying.
No. What you don't understand is Cody doing this shit because he got to. He trying to prove a point that they don't need nobody else. But it's only 12,000 seats. That's not a lot.
That's nothing.
That's not a
It's
lot,
a
bro.
challenge.
That's
They challenged him to
nothing,
that
though.
seat.
That ain't no challenge,
said
bro.
over
40,000 is a challenge.
They downplay everything. This is
It's not a
Wrestle
downplay,
Podcast.
bro. You act like it's so iconic. It's not that iconic.
Hold on, wait.
It's 12,000
That's
seats.
cool. But guess what? You have to really look at it.
Each member only got to bring 2,000 of their fans,
To
bro.
run out of 40,000.
Each member got to bring 2,000 fans,
How
bro.
much does it cost
Did he
to run
answer
out
the
a 40,000 venue?
Kenny can run down South Street and get 2,000 people right now.
And guess what? He'll
And
go.
say, yo,
Go
I'm
to
live on
ECW
South Street
Arena.
right
You just said,
now.
right?
I got a
Yeah,
ticket
You
for
heard what you
everybody.
just said, right?
I got half price tickets for everybody. Come down South Street right now. 2,000 people come down right now.
Yo, y'all sound ridiculous.
2,000
You sound ridiculous. You
You
don't
act
know
like
nothing.
12,000 is a lot, bro.
Ain't jumping with you.
Because it's their first pay-per-view. I get it. Look,
What I'm saying is
look.
the
I get the
challenge-
iconic
but what
part of
happened
what they're
to
trying
it?
to do,
But
or
what-
how they trying to bring
but what
all
was the
these wrestlers
challenge?
together. But bro, that's not the best shit that ever happened, bro.
Did I
It's
say
not the
that?
biggest shit
Did I
that
say
ever
that?
happened.
Did I say that?
You try to kick to me Hot
Did I say
Topic
that?
$800 million. They not Ross. They not Macy's. They not Old
you
Navy.
downplay-
Like
you
what are we
downplay-
talking? Like
The wrestling convention can pull in $12,000.
800.
Ric Flair pulled. You remember that line?
Bro, I stood in line with 5,000 people.
$10,000.
Yeah,
So-
look, at least
8
5,000 people in that building,
so
bro.
we
It's
just
more than
discredited
that.
it. So
At
we
least 5,000
discredited
people in that building.
You
That was
see
for
what
one
I'm
person,
saying?
bro.
You see
One
what I'm
person.
saying?
The four
You see what I'm saying,
It
prisoner?
wasn't 5,000.
That's
what I'm
not a
saying,
prisoner.
prisoner?
Ain't no prisoner.
prisoner.
You a prisoner to thinking this
You
shit,
know what I'm
bro.
So what I'm
So
saying,
You a
hold on,
prisoner
hold on,
to
hold on.
thinking that
They
shit, bro.
downplayed- though. That's what he's saying.
They downplay shit. Okay, 800
Big
million. They
leagues,
shit. Oh,
go
they're not
back to
Macy's. They're not this.
I've been
So
watching
800
wrestling
million
for
is
28
nothing?
years, bro.
Because they're not Macy's. 800 million
28
is
years and I
nothing?
haven't taken a weekend off.
Bro.
28 years I've been watching wrestling. I haven't taken a week
Bro.
off, bro.
Bro.
You can't tell me that
Bro.
this is the greatest shit. I've seen
ever-
it
When
before.
did you
When
see
did
it?
I ever say it
I've
was the
seen
greatest?
this
I
before.
said it never happened. It never been done. Did I say it was the greatest? Did I?
That these niggas is about to put
Oh
on
my
their own
God,
pay-per-view.
bro.
It's never been
Yeah,
done
that's
before.
never been
It's
done.
never been done,
Jeff
bro.
Jarrett did it.
He started
Started his
organizing
own company. Again, this is an event.
Jeff started his
They're
own
creating-
organization.
away from WWE. They not the first wrestlers to do this shit,
You don't
bro.
understand what they're actually doing, though.
They don't. They don't.
It's actually a weekend.
Right, well,
It's actually a
they
whole
don't
weekend event.
understand.
what about the wrestling
They got-
Because it's not WWE. They don't
territory
get
don't
it.
matter nothing no more.
They don't get it.
Territory don't mean nothing.
They want to be the brand that stand against the E, bro.
not
I
a-
get it,
oh,
bro.
it's not a brand, it's an
Listen,
event.
This is a
listen. If
brand.
Bullet Club,
It's an
if Bullet
event, it's not a
Club,
brand.
if Bullet Club remove itself from ROH and New Japan Pro Wrestling, they are irrelevant. Not Bullet Club, New Japan Pro Wrestling, ROH. It's wherever the Bullet Club land. That's gonna be the. They
I disagree
they're the
with
next
that.
hot thing that's outside of WWE,
How long
bro.
has New Japan been? When do you think New Japan
Forever.
started?
Forever.
What are you saying? They're gonna be around.
So it's been around forever, and this
So
is the
when
first
you
time
tell
it's
me
getting
that
to
they
this level.
relevant,
It always
they
been
only
relevant.
relevant in the now when you talk about it. They just became relevant again, bro.
Look,
And why? And why?
We got internet. We can watch it more.
So
we
niggas
can
like
watch
you
Ric
hype
Flair.
up, but it's gonna be real niggas that know.
Thank you. Podcast right now.
Thank you. That's
No,
it.
You ain't proved that.
No,
Ric Flair
you
did.
I did.
I
You
did.
did.
It's internet. Ric Flair. We didn't watch Ric Flair go to New Japan. He came WWE also.
Thank you. Thank you for proving my point. But what I'm saying is, all in isn't a
That's
brand.
not
It
a
is
point,
an
guys.
event.
It's not a point.
But event, it's just an event, and it is a big weekend because they have similar to access. They're gonna
Y'all
have signings.
niggas
They're
is
doing
crazy.
everything.
Y'all niggas think
Who they
it's
get the
gonna
blueprint from?
WrestleMania. Y'all
Huh?
niggas is
Who they
crazy.
get that blueprint from?
What
WWE.
does-
Y'all niggas
that's
is
the
crazy.
point.
They're crazy.
No,
But
no, no,
that's
no,
right.
no. But what I'm trying to say is, and it's
Who
not
do we
you.
get-
It's not you. It's
All
not
right, so
you.
wait.
I'm talking
Who
to
did-
you because
Ace,
I'm
who did you get the
conversating with you.
blueprint for a podcast?
I
You're
can't
on a
conversate
podcast
with
saying
him.
that'll be dope to do, right?
Exactly.
That's where.
No,
but that's
no,
where
no,
ideas
no,
come from.
no, no,
Sometimes
no,
you're like,
listen.
man, I could do this, and I'm gonna try it.
But listen, bro. Listen, bro.
That's all they did.
You're not sitting up here telling me.
Negative.
You're not sitting up here telling me that the Bullet Club is on the door of knocking WWE out the park. And
never
That's
said that.
That's how this
never
nigga
said
be.
that.
That's how
Never
you
said
be,
that.
dog.
Never said that.
That's how
Never
your
said
aura
that.
is, bro.
That's how your aura is.
That's
He
how
didn't say
your
I
aura
said
is,
it,
bro.
bro. He didn't say I said it,
bro.
He said my aura.
No, your exact words wasn't that. But every time we
Podcast
talk
is over.
wrestling, every